What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of The Lounge. I'm Raytruelife, and of course, Captain Ballhead over there is none other than Chevalier at Chevalier Life.
I thought you were gonna say, like you always say, that bastard over there.
I ain't want to call you a bastard today. I'm gonna call you a
Thank
bastard.
you, man. You going easy on me today?
Just for now. Just for now. What's going on, man?
Man, nothing, man. Just recouping from the Easter break, bro. It was an exciting time. I got to do a little traveling.
Yeah. I see you finally got you a little vacation.
So that wasn't even a little vacation, man. That was a vacay for real. That was like one of those life-changing vacations is what that was, man. How was your Easter?
Yeah. Man, it was good. It was good. I ain't do much.
Yeah, I wish you could have been there with me, man. I think that would have been one that I know that would have been one that you would have enjoyed for real.
I sure would have. I ain't been on an actual vacation in a couple years.
Well, we got to change that, bro. You know how me and you do. We ain't just brothers on the show. People don't realize that we ain't just brothers on the show. I mean, we do this thing in life too, so we have to definitely plan something special, man.
We definitely do. Man. We gotta get this toast going, man.
I'm
ready. Sitting there.
I'm ready.
Are you actually ready this time?
I'm ready.
So it's on me, right?
It's on you.
So I'm toasting up here, and I'm gonna show it because we got him in here. I'm toasting up with this Moulin La Maple Bourbon Whiskey. I see him shaking his head in the green room. Hey, so my toast goes to Moulin La Cigars, man, for blessing us and taking care of us at the Black and Gold Ball at the NOLA Cigar Fest. Hopefully we can run it back next year. So we'll talk about
it's gonna happen. Later, but, it's gonna happen, man. We had a good time
for an amazing event, man. So cheers. Oh man!
You catch up doing that from our special glass. A lot of people don't know we got a glass with our faces on it.
I see.
The lounge glass. Yeah. That was a courtesy of last.
Start drinking out of my lounge cup.
I drink out of my lounge cup on lounge.
I got one of these.
Well,
I'm gonna drink out of my lounge cup.
You gotta drink out your lounge cup when we on the lounge, man.
I didn't get a glass. I got this. So I'm gonna drink out of my lounge cup. Drink my Moulin La Maple Bourbon Whiskey out of my lounge cup.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it every time, man. You gotta do it every time.
I do sit it on my lounge coaster though.
Oh well, you know what? I don't want you to feel super special because I do have my lounge coaster as well.
I don't care. Well, I'm glad you got it. That's fine.
Oh, I'm gonna always have. Thanks for reminding me because I gotta have a coaster on the table out here.
Put a coaster on the table.
I got a coaster on the table.
You got anything you want to get off your chest?
You know what, man, bro? No. I decided that I'm not gonna get anything off my chest today. But I know you got something you want to get off yours. And if you don't, that means life has been good for us for the last couple of weeks.
Man, I actually don't. I actually don't have anything to get off my chest today.
Well, getting it off your chest, for those of y'all don't know, we do a segment in the show. Get it off your chest. Ray runs the thing, and we talk about the things that irritate us, or just get on our goddamn nerves, and evidently, neither one of us have anything that gets on our nerves.
Man, ain't nothing been getting on my nerves this week, well, I do drive the bus, so get it off your chest. Man, I don't know what it is about people in large vehicles. When people see large vehicles, they want to jump in front of them and slam on the brake. First of all, let me put this out here for everybody who drives, okay? When you merge, you don't hit your brakes. You speed up to the flow of traffic. You pick your spot before you get there. Speed up to the flow of traffic and get in the gap. You don't hit your brakes. It ain't nobody else's job to slow down to let you in.
However, in other words, move and get in the groove.
That exactly.
Don't slow down when it's time to come on. Don't slow down.
Do not slow down when it's time for you to get into the flow of traffic, because if I have to hit my brakes, that's what you call cutting people off. Exactly. Now, if you get in front of me and you're going the same speed, that's fine, no problem. But if I have to hit my brakes behind you, that means 1, you didn't judge the speed of traffic. 2, you didn't look while you were pulling up on the runway, which is what it's there for, and pick your space. And 3, you didn't hit the gas. Hit the gas. Speed limit is either 60 or 70. Get up there and drive.
You left one off too.
What I leave out?
The 4th one. You're an asshole.
I am
some not. Assholes. Not you. The person that's
yeah.
That makes you an asshole.
Everybody believes the road is for them, and they're the only one supposed to be driving. It ain't. Mm-hmm. It ain't. So
I don't drive the bus, but I ride on the bus. That's some bullshit.
Secondly, what bus you ride on?
Man, I ride the bus every now and then. Like if I'm down in Dallas, I take that bus. No, not that
bus around the complex, around the GM complex. You ain't rode a bus in years. I don't want to hear that.
That's not true. That's not true.
When last time you rode a bus?
The last time I went to wrong.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when I went to Philadelphia
and lie.
But I have ridden the train, which is public transportation, so that counts.
It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same. You know,
but nobody can merge in front of the train.
But people don't merge in front of the train. Mostly people just merge in front of the bus, and for some reason, it's like they want the bus. I mean, I guess they expect bus drivers to be courteous and just let them go.
Well, that's because y'all are always courteous and let them go. Because if you don't, they're gonna suspend you. You know about that.
You get suspended.
How many times you been suspended for a motherfucker running into the side?
That's not the point. That's not the point. I've been suspended for somebody running into the back of the bus, but that ain't.
I remember that.
The point is, stop pulling in front of large vehicles and hitting your brakes, and then getting upset when you get hit. Not if, when. Because large vehicles can't stop like cars, people. And if you drive a Tesla, you need to think about your life choices. Because I ain't seen a Tesla driver yet who will not jump in front of anything and hit their brakes.
For real?
Not yet. Them BMW drivers, Camrys, Civics. Look, if you want a new car, jump in front of a different bus, not mine. That's all I'm saying. Don't jump in front of that 265 downtown.
I know that's right. You know what? I gotta ask Steve when he comes in. What kind of car you drive, Steve?
I hope it's not a Tesla.
I hope it's not a Tesla. It better not be a goddamn Tesla, Steve. You better have a Chevy pickup, Steve, or a Ford F-250 King Ranch or something like that with the moon roof and everything. You know, it better not be that.
It's not a Tesla. I hope it's not a Tesla.
You know, that's a good question for him too, because I look at him. We were at the Black and Gold Ball, and I was looking at his swag and everything. I saw S-Class. I saw S-Class for Forgiatos on it with a Moulin Labe in the back. Probably black with
Moulin Labe with the plate. Yeah, he got the logo laser etched in the rims, all black rims with gold.
Yeah, Moulin Labe all the way around. Yeah, and you know what else? And just because he has a certain level of swag, I would say those. Remember the beads that he was giving us with the?
They hang from the mirror.
Yeah. He got those hanging from the mirror. He got some black ones and some green
ones. Each bead in his mirror says Moulin Labe on it.
Moulin Labe on each. I can see that, man. Me, you, him, and Dave Blanco were chilling, man. I can see that. Yeah.
So I'm smoking. I can't pronounce it. I'm gonna get him to say it. Fuera de Siri Maduro.
Yeah. The
And I'm
series.
sipping on, no, it's Siri.
Is it
And I'm
Siri?
sipping on Moulin Labe maple bourbon whiskey. Normally we don't talk about that. I try to get away from that, but
No, we don't.
I'm doing that because we got someone in the building, man. We got Steve Bartell from Moulin Labe Cigars in the lounge chilling with us. So let's go on and bring him in.
Bring him on here. What's up, Steve?
What's going on, Steve? I see you, Jeff. I got you in a few.
I'm missing you two guys, man. Like I wish we lived closer together. I would be hanging out with you guys every single day.
Oh yeah.
You guys, cool.
Oh yeah, bro.
And Ray, listen, man, the blessings were all ours. You guys blessed us with that event, and it was amazing. I really had a great time getting to know you and the crew down there. It was awesome. And anytime I can see Chevalier, man, he's my friend from a long time. And to know that you two guys are best friends is just amazing to me. So, and I was glad to see you got a vacation. It looked like you went to a nice island retreat somewhere. So,
man, if I did.
I'm not coming home.
Hey, look,
he got that island retreat money, so he could.
Hey! Don't start that. Don't start that. I ain't got no money. I got good credit. No, we went to LeBlanc, man, over in Cabo San Lucas, and first visits, great experience, man. Great experience. Man.
Looks like you had a lot of fun, and I was happy for you. So
we all need
a break, and we all need to get centered, right? I mean, it's important. Hopefully, you got to smoke on the beach and enjoy yourself while you were there. But yeah, it was great seeing you guys in New Orleans. I love the vibe there. I had a great time. I love the people. I was really bummed out I missed the crawfish boil, though. I really wanted to go to that, and I got sucked into a meeting until 6 o'clock. So get over it. I was really bumming.
Yeah, it was great, man. We had crawfish. There was barbecue. There was free drinks. Yeah, man, it was great. It was great. But we gonna run that back too for next year. So
100%,
and we're gonna add a couple more events. So I'm working on adding a couple more events to it. So
you can count us in on that one for sure. So you don't.
There it is. Definitely.
Hey, y'all heard it from the man himself. It's happening. Moulin Labe and NOLA Cigar Fest next year, 2026.
2026 is going down. Black and gold ball.
And just to let you guys know, I drive a Chevy pickup with 35 rims.
We said it. I said, man, after the way we were dressed, the way we were all chilling at the Black and Gold Ball. I remember I was looking over several pictures that the three of us took together. And I remember going, and I asked myself, and that's why I said it to Ray, I wonder what Steve drives, man. I hope he's got like a Chevy pickup. I'm a Chevy pickup driver, but if he's got a Chevy pickup or a big Benz with, Moulin Labe on the license plate or something like that.
I also drive a Cadillac, and the Cadillac.
I can see that.
It says ML Cigars.
Oh yeah, I see. We almost had it. We
were close. We were close. We knew that ML Cigars or Moulin Labe or something was on there. Ray said it was etched in the rims. It was etched in the rims. And they were all centered perfectly.
Well, now that he made that suggestion, I'm going to go out and do it. I'm going to
go ahead. You got to. You got to.
And I work for GM, so that's good. I work for GM, so that's good, bro. Like, that's good. Thank you for your contribution to my paycheck, man. So I don't have to sleep outside.
Cadillac and the Chevy Silverado. So yeah,
man.
Well, listen, I had a great time, and I really appreciate you guys supporting the organization. And it's about love for us. I mean, we just want to go and share the love with everybody and the spiritual fellowship of cigars. And Chevalier, I've seen you speak about that a lot, and that means the world to me. I mean, that's why I'm in this business. I mean, what we do together and the fellowship that we have together is amazing, and I live for that. I mean, that gets me up every single day and gets me to work and makes me want to do more things like we did in New Orleans. You know, I'll do that every single day of the week.
Oh yeah, man, that was a good time, man. And I woke up and got a nice tall cup of y'all's coffee as well, the Sumatra. So, man, I love the coffee. I love the coffee too. I'm a coffee drinker. Chevalier don't drink coffee. He wake up.
Chevalier doesn't drink anything but water and liquor.
A glass of Kool-Aid.
Hey,
I see. Yeah.
You know what? I forgot to grab me one of those when I was down there. So I'm out of Moulin Labe cigars. So I grabbed one of your buddy's cigars. I grabbed one of Dave Blanco's because that was as close as I could get to Moulin Labe tonight. And
he's my brother too. So you know.
Yeah, I know. You guys, man, it was great sitting back and chilling with you guys, and just all us getting a chance to kind of talk about the direction of NOLA Cigar Fest, and just our individual endeavors and what we're all doing and how it comes together.
Right.
It was a good group, and it sounds like you guys are trying to grow that group and bring more people in. And I mean, that's a great city. I mean, I love, I don't know if you guys know this about me. I lived in Texas for 9 years. I lived in Arlington. Actually, you work at the GM plant in Arlington?
Yeah.
So I lived like a mile from there.
Wow.
And I spent a lot of time in New Orleans. I spent, 9 years of my life going back and forth between Dallas and New Orleans. So that town was near and dear to my heart. And when Katrina hit, I was living there. I took 2 weeks off from my job, and I went and did with my church. I actually did a trip over there to help people. I was there day 3, and it was really bad, man. I had never seen anything like that. And we helped a lot of people out. We served food, and we provided shelter and clothing. And New Orleans is near and dear to my heart. So when PCA was there this year, I was excited. And when we talked to Ray, there's no such thing as coincidence, man. You look at how your life comes together,
right?
Yeah, across the path, like you guys and coming together. Like Jen and I were sitting there, and we were saying, like, what are we going to do around PCA? Like, we're not going to have a booth this year. We're going to have a booth in 26. Maybe we should have a party. We're trying to figure it out. And then all of a sudden it was like Ray reached out, and we were like, black and gold, those are our colors. Like, what are the chances of that? Like, we're going to have a black and gold ball. You guys want to sponsor? And like, we're going to do this event. It just came together. It was like, it blew my mind, and then I saw you, and I saw Rockstar and Dave and everybody, everybody came. It was really, really, really nice. I mean, there's no such thing as coincidence in this life. And, I just look at the fellowship and the friendship that we have, the three of us right now. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I can't wait to see you guys again. Like, it's too long visits. But
right.
Then we see each other. It's like no time passed.
Exactly. No time passed. That's what good people and good friends do, man. That's what we do.
That's right. Exactly you just picking up, even if it's been a year, man, it's just like you pick it up from the next day, from the last time you were together. I saw you during Dallas Smoke Fest. And, but I've seen you a few times. But during Dallas Smoke Fest, I was moderating the educational panel, and you jumped in there, man, and threw in some beautiful nuggets about the growth of the cigar industry, man. And it makes me want to ask you, like, because we got you now. So we got you. We're in here. We can talk about anything we want to talk about, but I got to ask you, man, when you look at Moulin Labe, I remember what I didn't know who Moulin Labe was. I first learned about Moulin Labe.
First of all, you're gonna say the name right, Moulin Labe. Ain't no U in
it. Well, I've been trying to channel my inner New Orleans.
We know you can't read.
So Moulin Labe. This is what kind of night we gonna have, because I think Ray misses me because he ain't seen me since New Orleans. So I think he misses. He gonna talk shit to me all night. But hey, man, like, how did you get started? What was your inspiration to start your company?
So I've been into cigars since I was like 18 years old. My first cigar I was fortunate enough to smoke a Cuban cigar, and I was hooked. I just loved smoking cigars, and I tried to learn about as much about cigars as I could. And, I went through college, and I smoked cigars with guys in college, and I got out of college, and, went on a journey and ended up, I actually ended up, sort of traveling all over the world and smoking cigars all over the place in my career. And I had no intention of being in the cigar business. I didn't wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to be in the cigar business. And I didn't my parents aren't Cuban, and I didn't wake up on a farm, and my grandfather was a legacy Cuban guy that made cigars. But I just had a passion for cigars and wanted to learn as much as I could. And I moved to Arizona after I left Texas. I moved to Arizona, and I don't know if you guys get to meet Vartan. Vartan was working with El Septimo. They made a cigar after him called the Dragon.
Yeah.
Vartan Dragon. Well, he was my mentor. I was in my late 20s. I moved to Arizona, and he had a really nice cigar lounge, and they had a VIP room in the back. And I was hanging out with all these old timers, and they were just educating me on cigars. This is, try this, try that, try this, try that. And they were just educating me on the whole cigar culture. And I love the culture. And Vartan took the time to teach me the difference between figuring out what a really good cigar was and what a really shitty cigar was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fortunate. I didn't have to smoke a lot of shitty cigars. Because I hung around with the right people, I got to smoke really good cigars and understand what made a good cigar. Fast forward, not too long after that, I was down in Florida, and I met this family that had this land, and they were growing this amazing tobacco, and they were making cigars really just for their family. They weren't really selling cigars.
Wow.
Kind of selling cigars, but I was fortunate enough to get to try the cigar, and I was blown away by the cigar. And I was like, man, I've smoked a million cigars, and this thing is just, I kept thinking about it. And, I got to know them over a couple of years, and I went to them and said, look, you really should share this cigar with the world. This is amazing. And I would like to create a company and take this cigar to as many people as I can. And, they looked at me, and if you know the history of Molon Labe, it was a small batch. We only did 3,000 boxes a year because that's all we could make. They have this plot of land. It's a Porto. It's all from the same field. It has this amazing wrapper. They also own the land that the wrapper's grown on, and it's a Habano Claro out of Windsor Loch, Connecticut. And it was just amazing. And the more people I shared it with, people were like, this cigar is incredible. And it dawned on me that it was very much like an old school Cuban cigar. My very first cigar that I ever smoked, that's what it was like. So I created this company, and I had a regular job. I was working. I started this business. And then, I was selling out of my cigars, and I was like, okay, I got to do something else. So I'm like, I'm going to go work with a distiller and see if I can create a line of spirits to go with the cigars. Because when the cigars run out, I can have something else to sell. And at the same time, I found out that one of my relatives' really close friends owned a coffee roasting company and eco-sourced coffee from around the world. And I was like, what goes better with cigars and whiskey than coffee? And so I spent a lot of time developing a coffee line that went with the cigars. So that was kind of the genesis of Molon Labe. The cigar that Ray is smoking, Fuera de Seria.
There it is. I couldn't say it.
That it's Cuban for out of this world. And by the way, we're changing it to just FDS. So, because nobody can say.
Oh, nobody can say. I've smoked several. That's an amazing cigar, man. The flavors
definitely is out of this world.
Burst on the first draw, man. I mean, it just wrecks your palate on the first draw.
So nobody can say La Flor Dominicana either. That's why it's LFD. So same thing. But that cigar is absolutely amazing. We're crushing it with that cigar. Thousands of people have now smoked that cigar and love it. But that was an interesting story there too. Again, no coincidence, right? So I'm in Miami, and I'm meeting with a friend of mine that's a videographer to do a video. And he says, hey, I want to introduce you to this guy that has this amazing cigar line, but he only sells in Miami. And he's Cuban, and he's kind of a crazy dude, but I think you guys will get along. So I met this guy for breakfast, and literally breakfast turned into lunch, turned into dinner. Like we hung out all day, smoking, and I was smoking his cigars, and I loved him so much. I actually went in the humidor and bought a box of everything and put it in my suitcase and brought it home. And I just got to know this guy really, really well. Every time I went to Miami, my daughter lives in Miami. You know, I was down in Miami working with Moulin Labe. I'd hang out with this guy, and we just got to be like great friends. And in 2023, he was going to retire and just shut the business down. And I went to him and I said, hey, you know, I'm thinking about pushing all my chips into the middle of the table and like taking this company national. I can't do it with what I have. Would you be interested in selling me your company? And he said, you're the only person I would sell it to. And he sold me the company. He sold me the company. So with the company, I got a factory in Nicaragua. I got a factory in the Dominican Republic. And it just opened up like a floodgate of opportunity for me to really get into this business in a big way. So, and that's what we did. In 2024, we really relaunched Moulin Labe to go national. You know, we're in, I don't know, 8 or 9 states now, 120 plus stores, 3 countries. The whiskey's gone national as of April of this year. We're going to be distributing in 8 different states. The coffee's going on Amazon Marketplace. So, you know, we're becoming a national brand, which is really exciting. But it's a ball buster, man. And I tell people, you know, if you want to get into this business, man, you better be ready to be poor and you better be ready to work your ass off because it's hard. And you got to have good stuff, you know, like there's a lot of people have, you know, they have their own brand or whatever. And, you know, I don't want to be mean, but some of it's not good. You know, it's really takes time. Like now I'm blending cigars. I'm blending cigars with my blender. I'm really into the dirt. I'm into the fields. I'm into how the plants grow. And that's really driving me because all my products come from the ground. You know, I mean, we grow everything that goes in that bottle you're drinking, Ray. All the coffee is eco-sourced from around the world with care. And our cigars are made with a lot of pride and a lot of forethought, you know?
Yeah, that's one thing. You can taste all of that. You can taste all of the work that you put into each one of the products, and they go together so well, you know?
Yeah, and that's, and nobody else is doing what we're doing, you know? I mean, I'm proud of that, you know? I mean, it's not just that we have a great cigar, we have a great whiskey or a great coffee. When we bring it all together and we do that Moulin Labe experience for people, it just blows people away. Like everything goes together so well that, you know, people remember experiences, you know, like how many cigars have you smoked where you're like, man, I had a great cigar last night. What was it? I can't remember. You know, I didn't save the band. I can't remember. You know, it was, I don't know. I don't even know. But if you have an experience, you have a pairing experience with Moulin Labe, you'll remember Moulin Labe. You know, you'll remember the experience that you had. And that brings people back to the products, you know, and that's what we're trying to do. So
what do you when you think about all of that, everything you said, Steve, when you look back on it, because usually you're right now you're the conductor for this big orchestra that you have, and you have all of these different pieces that come together, right? Like your coffee is the bass, and the cigar, you know, is the snare, and then you know your spirits are the violins, right? So as the conductor of this orchestra, when you look at everything, are you really critical, like self-critical? Do you find yourself being a perfectionist as you bring all these things together to create the music, which is Moulin Labe?
yeah, I mean, I'm a super perfectionist. I mean, if you look at how our branding has evolved, you know, luckily I have somebody now that's an expert that does that, but you know, how it all came together. But when it comes to the products, I am driving that bus, you know, I mean, I am absolutely 100% on top of my factories, on top of the manufacturing, on top of the blending, on top of the quality control. Same thing with the whiskey. You know, my distiller for my whiskey, he's 15 years with Michter's. I mean, the guy's a genius.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's like an absolute genius, and he's like me. He's all about the dirt. he's all about growing everything that goes in that bottle. That's his like real big focus. So he and I see eye to eye, and he's a quality freak too.
Yeah.
And then same thing with the coffee. Like nothing goes out the door. But but I will say there's always challenges. I mean, you can be a freak and totally particular about every aspect of your business, and things are always going to go wrong. Always. I mean, you can bet on it. So we've had challenges. We've had things go wrong. We've had things that didn't make me happy. But I take an approach of, let's all work towards a common cause. Let's work together to fix whatever it is, and let's move on and make it better. The other thing I'm about is constant improvement. I'm not one to just sit on it and say, okay, this is it. This is where we're staying. This is what we're going to do. We're constantly going to evolve and improve and add different things and do different things. So that's, yeah. I mean, and listen, I'm 62 years old, man. I'm not 32. I wish I did this when I was 32 because I'd be probably done by now. But it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of heavy lifting. So yes, I am the conductor, but I'm also the janitor. I'm also I wear a million hats, and I'm not complaining. I'm grateful that I get to do all of that. I'm grateful I get to work with the people every day that I get to work with in this business. But it is a hard business. It's super hard.
Definitely.
I mean, I wish I was a software programmer and I could just
it'd be done. I have another question though.
Before we get to your next question, did it get a little chilly out there?
It did, because it's been raining here in Dallas, man. And let me tell you, within about since we started, I had a T-shirt on. I brought a hoodie because I knew it was gonna get cold, man. It just dropped to about 70 degrees. And Ray, you've been in my backyard. The wind's just rushing past the patio.
70 degrees is enough for you to put a hoodie on?
In North Texas, it is when it's been.
You need to drink some milk. You need to drink some milk, son.
Dude.
It's gonna be
when you're getting close to 60, like I am. You don't just drink milk anymore. You don't do shit like that. But what I will say is that I know what's coming in about 15 to 30 minutes, man. It's probably gonna drop another 5 degrees. The sun's going down. I said, let me just get ready now.
Okay. He gonna put the heat. He puts the heaters on. He puts the heaters on when it gets to.
Waiting for you, man. It's like 38 degrees here. So.
Well, Chevalier he can't survive in 38 degrees. Let me ask you this before we get to
I know better.
Chevalier's question, because he'll ask questions all night and I won't get to ask.
I sure damn will.
Molan Labe, where'd that come from?
So, did you guys see the movie 300?
Yes.
Spartan movie.
Yep.
So when I got a commitment to start this business, they said, "Okay, great, go start a company with our tobacco and our cigars." I was like, "Okay, great." I got home and I was sitting there saying, "What am I going to call this company?" And I started doing all these searches, like, the flower of the West in Cuban, and Latin, in Spanish. And I had to stop myself and I said, "Man, I am not going to fool anybody. I am not Cuban. They're going to know I'm not Cuban. I should not make my cigar Cuban." So I'm sitting there and I've gotten really frustrated. I'm like, what am I going to call this company? And I'm watching the movie 300 and the Spartans are backed up against the sea. And the guy comes up and he says, "Lay down your weapons." And he says, "Molan Labe, come and take them." And I jumped up off the couch and I'm like, "Molan Labe, that's what I'm going to call it. Come and take them." And that's how it came together. That's why you got, the Spartan helmet and
I'll come take them.
Yeah, come take them.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're amazing. It's funny you say, because just like you said, everything sounds like it's by chance. Everything has been by chance that you've described, man.
No such thing as by chance. No such thing as coincidence.
Well, it always comes together with a purpose that we don't always see initially, And so this conversation. Yeah, this conversation that the three of us are having right now, I'm about to take it somewhere. So as I look over at this guy, Raymond, over there, he's on that side over there. When I look at him, Steve, he has, when I first met Ray in 2021, I was just starting Chevalier Life and I was vending my first event, right? The Black Cigar Festival in Houston. And Ray and I had only met on Instagram, and this big guy walks up in front of me because, as you know, he's a big guy. He kind of blots out the sun while I'm sitting at the table. I was like, "Oh shit, that's Raytruelife." So I get up, I hug him, and that was the beginning of our relationship. Where I'm going with this, though, is kind of to speak to what you're talking about. He told me when he's doing the Herpreneur Lounge, because I didn't have conversations with Chevalier. I wasn't doing any of the things I do now. And he was talking about a dream that he had, right? And he was talking about his own cigar. And so he came out with the signature. He put the work in for a couple years. He was a couple years in this thing before he even came out. And one of the things I admired about Ray at such a young age, man, he understood that preparation was the key to success early on, right? And so as I think about some of the things you say, and the reason I bring it up is because, and I want you to directly talk to him. I don't know if you've had his cigars, but they're amazing, man.
Yeah, they're great.
So they're great cigars. So what advice could you give him? And Ray, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I just gotta because
That's
we have
fine.
a person
Because I was going to ask him the same thing.
Yeah, what advice could you give him towards, really growing his brand? Like I've been on him, this year a lot, to really start moving forward. And he's been on me with Chevalier Life, with the humidors and everything that I do. And so what advice could you give him and us, about growing our brands, man, and taking ourselves to the next level in 2026?
Yeah, well, it all starts with connecting people. Cigars, you have the rule of thumb with a cigar and growing a brand is you can do all the social media you want, you can do all the podcasts you want, you can do all the advertising you want. If somebody doesn't smoke that cigar, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You have to put it in people's hands. And I heard that when I was coming into the business from so many people. You have to make the sacrifice of putting yourself out there and getting that cigar in people's hands. I heard a metric that said you have to give away 30,000 plus cigars before you matter.
Mm-hmm. I heard that.
30,000 cigars. And that's a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of time, effort, and money just to get it out there. The other thing I advise is, and I see Jamon from Definition Cigars doing this really well. And I'm a huge fan of his cigars, man. I really love his cigars a lot. I tell him that every time I see him, and I smoke his cigars. He's keeping it close, he's keeping it local, and he's growing the business. And then the word's getting out. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond, it makes a splash and then it ripples out like that. So start local, start small, get a following in your community, people that you're connected with, get people to support you, before you go crazy and start spending money left and right to do advertising and everything else. And the other thing I will tell you is social media only gets you so far. You can show your cigar, you can show people smoking your cigar and having fun, but until they smoke it,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
And that was a lesson I learned early. I could be the greatest guy in the world selling 3,000 boxes. That's not many. I could, you should be able to do that in a couple of years, but when you try to really sell cigars at scale, that's really hard.
Yeah.
Why? Because every single market you go in, nobody smoked your cigar.
Right.
You have to start all over. You have to start all over again. So, that's what I would advise. And yeah, I have smoked Ray's cigar and I think it's fantastic. And by the way, I am more inclined now to smoke boutique cigars and small company cigars. Everywhere I go, I walk in the humidor, I don't recognize a brand. I'm buying the cigar and I'm smoking it for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm making a judgment for myself. And man, I'm finding a lot of really good cigars. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's like small batch whiskey. You can buy off the shelf whiskey that's made by the millions of bottles, and it's not going to taste like this.
You're right about that.
That's right. I've had all of your spirits, and let me tell you something. They're all great. I've had them all. We did a couple of events at El Jefe here, you know, and I've had a chance to try it. I was like, damn, where can I buy this in Dallas? You know, because it's so where can I buy it? But I've been lucky because I've been able to get some.
Well, I'm going to get you both care packages when I see you next time, so you're not going to have to worry about it for a while. So I'll hook you guys up because I really appreciate, you know, the support that and the love that you give me, and I want to do anything I can to help either one of you. And that, you know, that's the other thing, right? Is you can't do it by yourself.
Right.
You cannot. It is impossible. You have to rely on your friends. You have to, you know, people that help you, that you help will help you. You know, when I was coming up, I say this on a lot of podcasts, I got a lot of help from some big players in this industry that didn't have to help me. You know, they didn't know me from Adam. They, you know, they saw my passion and they saw my willingness to be committed to the business. And they were willing to help me out, or at least give me advice and point me in the right direction. You know, and I feel the same way about you guys. If there's ever anything I can do for either one of you, I'm 100% behind you, and I'll do whatever it takes. You know, Chevalier, for you, it's the same principle. You know, you just got to be out there. You're doing the right things. You know, you're in the community. You're connecting with all the right people. And you're, you know, the other thing is you guys are genuine. You know, you have to be genuine in this business. You can't fake your way through this business. You cannot do it.
You're right about that. You are definitely right about that.
That ain't no joke, man. I mean, you be surprised at things you hear about yourself when you're full of shit. Right. Luckily, I don't hear a lot about myself, but I hear things that people say about other people sometimes, man, and it's true. It's really true, man. You really have to get out and connect. And genuine connections, man. But you know, one of the things when Ray and I created the lounge, I always said this was based on a Friday night conversation, man. Like we were like venting to one another. We started talking at 12 noon, and I drove an hour home. We were still on the phone. He was mad at his wife. I was mad at my wife. It wasn't neither one of them at home that day. And the lounge was born, man. And we decided, man, we got to create this space where we can have some authentic. Man, we went from literally talking on the phone to getting on Instagram so we could talk to you, because Ray's not an iPhone user, sad for him. But
it's not sad
we
for
couldn't
me at
FaceTime. All. We couldn't FaceTime. So we had to go on the Instagram deal so we could talk through Messenger face to face. But we started talking about these conversations that are important to men over cigars. And Ray said, man, we could call it the lounge. And about 3 weeks later, we were doing it. It was the lounge, and we started doing it. Now we're on our third season, man. It's grown tremendously, and it's not where it could be, but we know it's not where it's gonna be either. We know the trajectory of the lounge. We're already got people talking about, you guys need to see what those guys are doing over there, because they're the ones that's coming to kick y'all ass, not me, you know. And you remember that? You remember that, right?
Yeah, when they was trying to tell Daniel to change his day.
One of the big shows told Daniel for 505 he needs to change his date. He called me on the phone and say, "Hey Chevalier, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm drinking right now. I got a feeling whenever he calls me and asks me what I'm doing, he about to tell me some shit to get my attention." And he says, "Man, I'm talking this big show. I'm not gonna tell you who they are. They tried to make me change my date." I said, "I bet you won't call Ray and Chevalier and tell them to change their fucking date." Because they're the ones that's kicking your ass when you look at all the numbers on this thing. And Ray and I were like, damn, we kicking people's ass. I got off the phone with Daniel, called Ray, man. We in the conversation. We're a part of the conversation. We didn't know that we were part of the conversation.
Well, I'll take it. Hey, Steve, Bruno Lyons, I think he asked if you want to come down to Pensacola Cigar Weekend.
100%. Yeah, I like that cat a lot, man. He's always promoting Molan Labe for me, and you know I love it. And he's genuine, right? Like he's a deal.
He's the real deal, man.
He's a real deal. I'm 100%. If he wants me to come down there, I'm there. So he just has to.
Bruno Lyons is probably the biggest supporter in the cigar industry. Period. He supports everybody.
Yep.
Yes.
And if you got him, you'll buy
a great personal sacrifice too. He's supported, man. He supported when people didn't realize his health wasn't good. He supported when he's not been in the best mental space. I don't mean to put his stuff out there, but just having a real conversation. Hey man, he's even been here in my backyard. Me, him, and Ray sitting out on the outer patio out there smoking and just thinking about ways that we can be better. You
Hey,
know,
I'm gonna put it out there. He came all the way to Dallas to celebrate my birthday.
Yes, he did. I had a little birthday thing here in the backyard. I didn't invite a lot of people. It was the night after we did the cigar education event, Steve. It was that night.
All right.
And the next day he came over. We all kicked it that night. Then the next day he came over, and we all just sat out here, man, around the patio, smoked cigars, had a few drinks, and just chopped it up, and just really talked about some of the things that we could see all of ourselves doing to grow the community as a whole. That's the direction that we're moving in.
Hey, listen, how blessed are we to be able to do what we do with the people we do it with? Like, it's
yes, sir.
I have to pinch myself, man, because I'm like, I get to do this. Like, I get to like hang out with great people. I get to get involved in people's lives sometimes, good or bad. I get to hopefully help people in a positive way. And like I said to Ray when I came on, I get more out of it. People are thanking me. I'm like, man, I got more out of this than I bet you did. I'm so grateful for the community, and it's a great community. There's nothing like it on the planet. I mean, I have a lounge too. I have a cigar lounge, and I meet people every single day when I'm there, and I'm just blown away watching groups of people come together that would never come together. Out in the real world, those people would never be sitting together. They'd never be hanging out, smoking cigars, talking about their families or their problems or whatever. And here they are. They're all sitting around having a cigar, becoming friends. The next thing you know, they're best of friends, and they're hanging out, and their families are hanging out. I mean, where does that happen? Where does that happen? Nowhere that I know.
Nowhere that I know either.
Nowhere it happened. It happened with me and Ray. I got to send you a new code to the door, Ray. I got a new front door, but
okay.
Ray's got a code to my house. He's even the dog even lets his wife in. He don't let Ray.
The dog let my wife in, and then he look at me and be like, "Oh, you brought him too? Oh well."
Yeah. If I'm not home, they just come and type the code and come in, because, like I said, people don't realize that we don't just do this. Like, we do life. Our families, our wives are close, and our families. Ray knows my mom, and he knows my sister. He knows my family. He's a part of my family, and so I thank the cigar community, because if it wasn't for that, I would have never been blessed to have him as my brother. It's just real talk.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Lions, same way.
It's amazing.
We gonna take a quick commercial break, but before we do, we got to shout out Michael T watching us on YouTube. He said it's his first time here, and so far he's enjoying it. Thank you for joining us, man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Welcome, man. Thank you.
Welcome.
Commercial time.
You got them both.
Right, yeah.
And I will make that focus stop for
It gave me 2 feet. I can't smoke in the house, but I can smoke in the evening.
The fabric bow ties, the wooden bow tie.
He was I want to say
Get this stuff down. Because if you don't
I love that damn commercial.
I love it too. That's why I play it first.
Every time I see that commercial, I love that commercial.
It's so good.
Before we go any further, I need to say that there are 2 new episodes up on the Hertford Door Lounge, the Hertford Door YouTube channel. I have Vicky Lee from JLW Cigars, a brand new cigar company out of Atlanta. And I had Dwight, DJ. I'm not going to put your whole government out right now. It is on the show.
Put it out there. He's on Mount Olympus.
DJ Aloysius Newton. Mount Olympus is the second episode of Mount Olympus Cigars. So I just wanted to put that out there as 2 new episodes up. The first 2 episodes I've actually posted in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
that's a whole story that we ain't messing.
Yeah, that's a whole story. We could get into it. We could get into it, but you know,
because it's our show.
I want to bring in Jeff, aka World Class owner of Astute Barbershop and Lounge. He's been waiting in the green room, so we gonna bring him in. What's going on, Jeff?
What?
What's up, Jeff?
Yeah, we can hear you. He been back there waiting to get in the green room. He done talked to some folks. He done walked around. I done seen the whole lounge because he was walking around. I could see him in the green room. I said, let me go on and bring him in. We was talking about lounges and stuff, so let me go on and bring him in. Now we got 2 lounge owners on here.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
What's going on?
What's up, Jeff?
Steve, I got to get some of your cigars, man. I'm hearing a lot of good things, man. I'm hearing a lot of good things.
Oh, they delicious.
You just tell me where to send them, and I'll send them to
you. Yeah. Astute gentleman in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, I'm going to be in Dallas Sunday the 5th to the 7th. I'll be in Dallas for a couple days, so I was going to also let you guys know that I'm going to be there. So I'd love to connect with you all while I'm there. Maybe we can connect at his lounge.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Because I'm free that weekend. Ray, you're going to be in town that weekend, aren't you?
You say what?
As a matter of fact, the 5th. Yeah, like the 3rd, 4th, 5th. Aren't you going to be here that weekend? You're going to be here.
Yeah. We to that Sunday. But if you're going to be there Sunday, we can definitely link up.
Yeah, I'm coming in. I'm coming in Sunday the 4th, and I'm leaving out on the 6th.
I tell y'all what, I could get the community room over at the trailer park down the lane there.
Well, we know good and well you ain't in no trailer park, so we ain't even gonna let you.
We can go sit down there at the trailer, at the community patio over there at the trailer park, and we can chill.
Which is all in your backyard, by the way. So,
are y'all gonna stop letting Chevalier blow that smoke?
He tried it.
Yeah, he tried it. Come on, man, cut it out.
And last time Jeff came over here, Steve, we were all sitting out here. You remember that, Ray? It was about 1 in the morning, and all we see is this big face come over the fence. Talking about what y'all doing back there.
He said, like, ain't but one person can stand over here, look over this fence at y'all. Open this door.
And then you continue to like 4 a.m., right?
Yeah.
We literally did, and like my neighbors are always like, your cigar buddies must be in town. I'm like, yeah, you can tell. We can smell the good smoke. I was like, you could be like, oh boy, what was that show where the guy used to stand over the fence all the time? I said, just put your nose over the fence. I'll pass you some home improvement. I said, we'll pass you a little something. I always got some extra over here for the neighbors.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Max says we're the trailer park boys.
There you go.
Only one of us claim to live in a trailer park. I don't live in no trailer park. It ain't as big as Chevalier house, but it'll do.
Hey, Steve, don't let him start that. Don't let him.
Let me tell you something, Steve. The first time I went to Chevalier's house, right? We were staying at his house, and he gonna tell me, "Oh yeah, y'all's room is over there in the West Wing." I said, "The what?"
How long did it take you to walk over to the West Wing?
13 minutes.
About 13 minutes.
Say, man, we're not doing that. We're not moving right along, man. Y'all gonna have people thinking that they gonna come to my house, man. They gonna see that trailer with them bricks. But I do have a brick base around the bottom, Steve. I got a nice brick base around the bottom.
Don't listen to that lie.
As long as you're happy, that's all.
Right.
He got that hornet's nest up under his house.
Yeah, you hit them steps wrong. Them hornets coming out from under there, boy. They gonna get you.
Right up from under.
The steps lead to his own cigar lounge that he's got built out there.
There you go.
It's coming.
You finally got that done. You ain't done yet?
No, I'm not done yet, man. But they were out here. They were out here a couple of days before we left for Cabo. And the guy gave me an estimate that was about way too damn expensive. I was like, look, I'll put an umbrella out there and we'll sit under the umbrella. You know, I had the umbrella a couple of years ago and it was beautiful back there. Man, they hit me for just the cover and not doing the electricity and the air conditioning stuff. They were like, man, $90,000. I was like, yeah,
Shit.
wood ain't going up that much. I said, man, well, it was nice meeting you, bro. It was great, great. I just hate I let you come in. I should have let you stand and give me that bullshit out on the porch. You could have told me that on the porch. But I got something planned for it. It's coming. It's coming.
I have to smoke in my garage. I own a cigar lounge, but it's 40 minutes away. So when it's wintertime here, I know you can't relate to what wintertime is.
Oh yeah, I can. I can.
I sit in my garage, freezing my ass off, smoking a cigar. My wife comes out and says, "Don't you own a cigar lounge?"
She's taking you out of the house.
Yeah, we smoke over here, Steve. We smoke over here. When you come, man, we might have to get you over here since Ray will be here. You know, we usually do videos. I got to get you over here. Don't believe what you say. I don't want you to pull up and you see this little house and you be like, God damn, he's got. That's not what you're gonna see there.
And I live in a little house out in the country. You know, it's my little piece of heaven, and it's nothing special, man. It's just a house in the country. I just get peace and quiet. I'm on the road all the time. I like to just come home and be in my house and have it quiet. So, yeah. But I do
tell you what, Steve.
You need a place to smoke when I'm home.
Oh yeah.
You gotta look in your garage. So what I did in my garage is I put up some like heavy duty plastic that goes around like gazebos. I got an air conditioner in here. I put my heater on. The cold don't get it don't get cold, but the cold don't get in here and the heat don't get in here either. I got my air conditioner on right now. Go try that.
All right, I'm trying it.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Ray. Everybody thinks that's the studio. That's the place where his cars are supposed to go. I think Ray's cars start honking their horns every time he go on the show because I don't think his cars have ever been in there. I don't think they've ever.
I've never parked in the garage. I got two smokers and a griddle out here before I had cars. Before I had to have my lounge up, and I need a place to smoke cigars. So
I got a shed out in my yard. I think I'm going to convert it.
Yeah. Go ahead. You got to.
I need a place close by.
You got to have a place where you can sit and enjoy a cigar and sip some Moulin Labe maple bourbon whiskey or drink some Moulin Labe coffee in the mornings, you know.
And I miss Texas, man. I had a good life there. I really enjoyed Texas a lot. I love Dallas. I lived there from 89 to 97. So the Cowboys were winning the Super Bowl.
Way back then. Way back then.
A long time.
I said this to you guys before. You know how hard it is to be a Cowboys fan in New England, man? It is.
Oh, it's got to be.
Brutal. I believe it.
Brutal.
Yeah, they don't like the Cowboys up there on the East Coast at all, especially in Philly.
No, I get my ass kicked on a daily basis during football season. It's horrible.
Oh man, Mac the Cigar Advocate is in Canada. He says try Vancouver in the winter. No, you can have that.
Yeah, you can have all that.
You can have
y'all winters last for 8 months. No,
no, thank you.
No, sir.
So I think the cigar scene in Dallas has really gotten good. Like it's really improved.
Yeah,
it has, but it's gotten. Oh man. You know what? I'm not even gonna do that today.
Go ahead,
Jeff. No, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it, Jeff, because you wouldn't be saying it. Wouldn't be you if you didn't say it.
It's gotten out of hand. It's not. The unity is not there. You know, the unity.
We talk about that a lot. That's not. Yeah.
The cigar scene here is so beautiful and ugly at the same time. You know, but the beautiful, I'll say this, the beautiful is like a girl that's just got a new BBL and her makeup just done. But it gets washed. She got fresh, clean makeup, new makeup, looking real good. But when she go home and take all that stuff off, that's how the cigar that's how it really looks here in Dallas. When she takes all that shit off, it's ridiculous.
So from the outside it looks good, but
yeah.
From the inside, it's fragmented.
So why do you think that? Like, so you know, I get to travel all over, right? And I know you guys travel too, and you've been other places. But
Yeah.
why do you think that is, Jeff? I'm interested by what you think about that, because
the lack of unity.
I'm trying to sell to retailers, but I'm also a retailer. You know,
Right.
I have a lounge, and I get that some of the places that I go, it's weird to me.
It's too cliquish. It's too cliquish here. There are I would venture to say that there are more cigar um, clubs in Dallas than there are cigar lounges.
That is so damn true.
Yeah, and so everybody is like, you know what? We're not gonna go over here tonight. We're gonna go over here, or we're gonna go over there. We're not gonna go over there. You know, and nobody has a mind of their own to say, you know what? I'm going over here, man. I don't care what y'all say. You know, and that kind of stuff puts, you know, cigar lounges out of business. You
Yeah.
know,
It also creates it also fragments the community here.
yeah, it
When
creates a
I,
huge division.
it creates a huge division here. And Jeff was the first person that I met when I joined the cigar community in Dallas. And Jeff, I know you remember this. The first thing
Hmm.
he told me, he said, Chevalier, he looked at me, I'm sitting in the lounge. As a matter of fact, I was getting my hair cut because he has a barber shop in the lounge. I'm getting my hair cut. He said, look at Chevalier. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I said, what? He said, don't get caught up in these clicks, man. Don't be fucking with these motherfuckers around here, man. Just keep doing your own thing, your own way. Because if you get to fucking around with them, you ain't gonna be shit because they ain't shit. And so when people tell me things like that, I always lean toward the positive. So I thought to myself, he telling me this the first day I met him. But for some reason, I said, I'm gonna pay attention to what he's saying. And so all of a sudden, all these groups started coming at me because I was the new kid on the block in Dallas. You know,
Hmm.
I'm at every event. You know, I'm doing my stuff on social media. I'm the new face, right? And it took me about 3 weeks to see exactly what he was talking about. And Steve, to answer your question, why is it that way? I can say this: the clicks are the biggest problem. But Dallas, you've lived here. Dallas is a melting pot, right? You
Yeah,
got every race from every place doing every damn thing. But we all have this common love for this, but we can't seem to bring it together. And
no,
I'm always when I'm talking about, community and stuff like that, the reason I'm coming from this place of I want to see us do things that attract all people, that make all people want to be a part of whatever the events are. Probably the reason why I've had one or two events and they've done pretty good. But I think they would have done better if I got support from some of these very cliques that Jeff is talking about. The ironic thing, and Ray can tell you, I had an event, me and Kia McLean, and most of the people that were at the event were not a part of the cliquish traditional Dallas smoke set. I wanted to make sure that my events appealed to white, black, blue, and green.
yeah,
If you like
yeah,
the cigar, it didn't matter what the hell where you were or how you felt. As long as you like cigars, you never had to question if you were going to be there or not. And so the biggest problem that we have here, everybody doesn't share that same vision. They just say they do. But
they
when it
say
when
they
it
do.
comes
Yeah,
down to putting the work in and saying how are we going to market this or how are we going to do that, they're not reluctant. They won't never say it. They're not reluctant. They're unwilling because they're thinking about making a dime now instead of making a quarter every day for the rest of their
yeah,
life.
yeah,
That's
exactly. And
Yeah.
that
Oh,
and
I said that
that's
wrong. Making a quarter now and making it rather than making a dime every day for the rest of their life.
yeah,
They'll make that quarter one day and then it's fuck the rest of the community. Man, we've
yeah,
got so many people here that in places like Frisco and even further out, Roanoke and North Keller and all these places, they want to be a part of the things that are going on in the DFW, but things
Yeah.
aren't marketed to them. They don't feel welcome. And I've heard it said. I've heard it said,
Well,
and
I know
so that's
there's a
why it's
lot
so
of
fragmented.
yeah,
there's a lot of cigar clicks in Houston probably is. I'm not gonna say it's more clicks than lounges because I can throw a rock and it'll bounce off of 3 lounges before it hit the ground from my house.
Yeah,
That's true.
But
That's true.
but the cigar clicks in Houston, they're welcoming, right? I've been in lounges and the clicks walk in and they just speaking to everybody and sitting around. They do go to different lounges on different days, but you'll never feel, well, I haven't felt excluded from everything, from anything that those groups have done. They never try to force me to be affiliated with them. It's just, hey man, we chilling. We just happen to see. You want to sit with us? You want to talk? And we talk. Some of them have even invited me to their houses after that. Just random conversation. So it is interesting to hear when you say that the clicks in Dallas are kind of, it's a negative thing as opposed to the way it is here in Houston.
Yeah, it's almost like bad gangs. It's actually just like bad gangs. The bad gangs, they do all of the ignorant nonsense that makes organizations look bad, opposed to it being, what are you doing for the community? Let's make the community better. Let's do fundraisers for the community. Let's do this, let's do that. Good organizations do good things, and ignorant people do bad things. It's that's just it. And when you get here in Dallas and you get all of that, and so many times, so many different times, I've attempted and other people have attempted to bring this thing together, and it is a great conversation, but it falls on deaf ears. It is, how people get on social media and make posts, and but they don't live by the things that they say.
We just talked about that.
Yeah, you just having a conversation to say that you were a part of. Yeah, I was at that conversation, man. That was a pretty good conversation. But I'm gonna do the exact opposite of what the conversation said. And that's I think that's oxymoron. I think it's bad business. I think it's bad for the cigar community. And you get it a lot. I go to other cigar events around the country, and I just say, yeah, man, I own Cigar Lounge in Dallas, and everybody, oh man, come on in, man, blah 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 blah, and I don't even have to say that. We're just having a conversation. But
right.
I like to go meet the owners. I don't want to meet the people that say they own it. I want to meet the owner, because I'm an owner. I don't. Bosses talk to bosses. I talk to the bosses. I want to talk to the boss. I want to communicate with the people that are doing it, not saying they're doing it.
Right. Right.
I mean, I think the interesting thing is people try to own this thing.
Yeah.
You can't own it. It's not yours to own.
No.
It's all of ours to enjoy.
Exactly.
It's nobody can own it. You can't say it's this or this or this or mine, or I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. You can't take something that brings people together like it does and say, I'm going to own this, and I'm going to control this, and I'm going to do something with this. Like,
right.
You're not doing the things that Jeff was just saying, the good things, then you shouldn't be doing anything. Period.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. This is a unifier that brings people together. It doesn't matter what your situation is, and it doesn't
I agree.
Or it doesn't matter what you smoke, and it doesn't matter what you drink, and it doesn't matter anything. What matters is that we have a common thing that brings us together, and you can't own it.
Right.
And you saying that right there, Steve, puts it in real perspective.
I just want to add a disclaimer before you go into your soliloquy, Chevalier. It does matter.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
It does matter what you smoke, because you can't smoke, don't light up no crack pipe or no weed in no cigar lounge.
There you go. You can't do that.
What cigar you smoke? What cigar you smoke?
Right. I just wanted to put that little disclaimer out. You never know who
because
might be watching.
Ray thinks I'm about to get on my tangent, but I'm not because I'm real passionate about, I asked the question about, cigar community versus culture and what does that mean to different people. And I get a lot of different answers, but one of the things that's always lacking is the intention. Someone speaking on the intention on how to make the community one. We can say a lot of things about Houston. It used to be said several years ago about now, and I'm a straight shooter, so I say it about the Houston Cigar Week people. They're only about them. But what they did and what I admire about what they did is that they stuck to a certain plan. And it didn't include everybody at first. They did what they felt they needed to do and they kept adding, but they were intentional and consistent. They kept adding to reach and touch everybody. The biggest thing that I saw in them was the way they marketed Houston Cigar Week. First, it was a ass shaking party. I used to call it that. But what they did, they were always true to the game as it relates to the cigar itself. It wasn't about the party. We're partying, but hey, these are the cigars. They hammered you with the cigars and the people that sponsored and who was there, and you were able to get those cigars. But they marketed it in a way, and they use social media. They market it to the key influencers like Anya Ramirez, or you would see somebody from Arizona. They targeted different areas to make sure that the message got out about Houston Cigar Week, and they started bringing in all these people. In Dallas, I feel like we're and I say we're because I'm here in Dallas. We're very short sighted as it relates to that. When I tried to do it, I'm not bitter about it because I'll do it. But when I was trying to do it, everybody was on board for what I was saying until it meant actually doing it.
Doing something. Yeah.
When it meant actually doing it, when it meant because the only people that sponsored me when I had my events was El Jefe Cigars for letting me use the lounge, and Jeff would have did it, but Jeff was rebuilding his lounge at the time because that's where I was going to do my
for the
events.
seventh time.
For the seventh time,
Watch out. Hey,
because he redoes his lounge. Jeff will wake up in the morning, he'll redo his whole damn lounge. He does it himself. He doesn't like pay anybody to do it.
Speaking of lounges, Mac the Cigar Advocate asks for the lounge smokers, do you have issues with cigarette smokers in your lounges?
No,
No,
I don't have that issue because I don't allow it.
Yeah,
I don't allow it.
Cigars are cigars and cigarettes are cigarettes. The cigar industry doesn't support nor promote the cigarette industry doesn't support the cigar industry. If they had their way, we wouldn't be smoking. So fuck them. If you smoke cigarettes, have a cigarette lounge. There's a reason why there's no such thing as a cigarette lounge. Cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes, cool. But I'm just gonna say it.
A 1921 Marlboro.
Hey, look, when people are smoking cigarettes, they usually got a problem. Oh my God, I gotta figure this shit out. But when they're smoking cigars, it's a vibe. You sitting back, you got your legs crossed, you listening to a little jazz, you chilling, you're having fun. You're worried about who am I gonna meet next in the lounge? What is my conversation gonna be like? You're not worried about how you gonna pay a bill. People that smoke cigarettes worry about how they gonna pay this.
Got a little stress they deal with.
How am I gonna pay this bill? Oh, my wife just left me. My dog just died. My husband's cheating on me. Those are cigarette smokers.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing. I wouldn't go to a cigarette lounge because you'd be walking on cigarettes. Because every time you finish,
you'll never see a cigar. How often do you walk down the street and see a cigar butt on the ground? We're a little more. We're a little more classy.
Look, he say on the cruise ships, the cigar. Wait a minute now. He say on the cruise ships, the cigar lounges are full of cigarette smokers. So what I need you to do, Mac, is put in the comments what cruise ship you own with a cigar.
So we won't be on there.
Oh yeah. The thing about the cruise ship is it's an atmosphere for people to smoke. So they don't care what you smoke.
Yeah.
So there
You
are
just
a
can't
couple
smoke weed.
You just can't smoke weed, right? But there are a couple of cruise ships that about 5 of them, I think, that have cigar lounges on them that I know about myself personally.
Well, I
I
know my
only
wife would never let me go on that one because she wouldn't be able to pull me out of it. I'd be sitting in there all day. She'd be like, "Let's go over here."
Boy,
I'm
you
ready to
you
go.
better say it.
No, I can't do that.
yeah,
I can't
Hey,
do it.
yeah.
I'll
when
stick
I
to
was
the
in
regular
Cabo
one.
this weekend, they wouldn't even let us smoke on the beach. You couldn't smoke nothing on the beach at the resort I was at. But there was like a mansion on each side of the resort, and the people didn't care if you came out there. You could sit in their chairs and smoke. But hell,
Yeah,
all the money I paid for that vacation, I wasn't doing shit. Everything I was doing it at the
At the
deal.
resort.
But I did take
Yeah.
a boat cruise in Cabo, the Pesgato, right? It was a jazz and wine cruise, and they said no smoking, but I walked in there with a bag of cigars, right? I had maybe 10 cigars in my bag, and they're like, we have a space that you can light up on the end of the thing. Even though it said no smoking, man, I passed out cigars. It wasn't a lot of people on there. Every guy on there and a couple chicks was like, hey, can I have a cigar? Because they said no smoking, but they had ashtrays and everything. You just had to smoke at the bow of the boat. And they had nice seating and everything just for that. So,
I've noticed a lot of places say no smoking,
but then you
but
can smoke cigars.
what they mean is no smoking cigarettes and weed and crack and meth
Because all of them,
because
they all fit in the
cigar
same job.
smokers, yeah, because cigar smokers normally will put their they will find an ashtray and all
Yeah.
Yeah.
ashes, and when you get all the way down here, it's going in that ashtray.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna
Or a
find
glass.
cigar
Or
trappings
a
all over the
glass.
place. It's going in
Yeah.
something. You ain't gonna
It's
find
going in
cigar
a
trappings
glass.
all over
You have a
nothing.
glass of cheap bourbon. You have a glass of cheap whiskey and ashtray ashes from a cigarette in it. You never see that with a cigar. You'll never see a cigar where somebody smoked it, threw it on the ground, took their foot, did that whole ankle shake where they put it out, and then leave
Look,
it on the ground. You won't see that with a cigar.
did y'all hear? Did you ever see the Michael Herklotz recently did a discussion about why you don't stub out a cigar and why you don't put it on the ground and step on it. And the reason is there's a spirituality in this cigar. And again, a differentiator from mass produced cigarettes or tobacco. You know, there's loving hands that and the energy and spirituality that went into making this cigar has earned the respect to not be put out that way, to not be stepped on, to not, you're not honoring the experience that you just had the opportunity to have by stepping on that thing or stubbing it out in an ashtray. It's disrespectful.
Exactly.
And if I see people doing that in my lounge, I walk over to them and I tell them that story. I say, you know, you need to understand what went into making that cigar, because if you did, you would never put it out the way you just did. So let me tell you the story. So I don't just yell at them. I say, let me tell you the story. And then people sit back and I go, the next thing you should do is, if you can, is go see how cigars are made. Like go visit a third world country where they make cigars and see how much love and energy goes into that cigar. If you saw that with your own eyes, you would never do that. I'm just telling you right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got to remember that, and you know, and that comes back to what we were just talking about. Like this is a spiritual instrument of brotherhood and sisterhood. You know, there's a lot of history here. You know, and maybe people don't give a shit. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of people that just don't give a shit. Yeah, I'm just gonna smoke a cigar. I don't care.
Some
I'm
people
doing
don't.
this and that's it.
That's exactly what it is.
You
Some
know,
people just don't care.
but you know, people need
Yeah.
to educate themselves about what this is all about. And I like to see when people come in and go, wow, you know, I come in here, I relax, I have this cigar, I forget about the world. You know, I get this moment that's mine, and I get to have. And you know, Michael Herklotz said, "There's only one cigar like the one you're holding in your hand. That's the only experience you're ever going to have with that cigar." And that, you know, that hit me like a hammer. I was like, wow, I never thought of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the only one like it. The other ones look like it, but it's not this one.
Exactly.
I only get one time to have this experience.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's over. Right?
You know, a lot of people smoke that. A lot of people in the last 5 years, you see the people that are 10 years, I'm gonna say 10 years, people that are coming into the cigar industry, they don't take the time and they don't have the passion to understand those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's so important. It
yes,
is
it
so
is.
important because you know what, Jeff? If people really understood that, they wouldn't do some of the things that they do. You know, you
Yeah,
wouldn't have to fight for unity. You wouldn't have to fight for people being inclusive. You know, you wouldn't have to fight for any of that because that's what brings us together. You know,
right.
that's what binds us all together. And that's, you know, as long as there's people like us, and I think there's a lot more people like us than there are, you know, that are on the other side of that thing. You know, we just have to keep loving on those people, and eventually they're gonna see the light. I
That's
believe.
right. I agree. I agree 100. At the end of the day, no
Gotta
matter
keep.
what we do, we just have to individually, I feel like we have to individually find a way to promote the positive within the industry. If everybody takes a small, whatever that thing is, their thing, and they promote it positively, the industry will continue to grow. I just hate, like when Jeff's talking about the clicks here in Dallas, I just hate that I feel, I don't want to say I'm feeling because it's fucking true. Excuse my French, but it's fucking true. We're so worried about the money sometimes that we forget that this, when you think about cigar smoking, the industry as a whole, it's an institution. It's an institution that has been rooted in class, an institution that's been rooted in professionalism, an institution that's been rooted in I always say commonality. Whether you're the CEO or the trash man, when you got this in your hand, you are just as important as anybody else. And the conversations and the connections that are made over cigars aren't made over cigarettes. Like I said, people that
Yeah.
smoke cigarettes, maybe I'm being funny, but people that smoke cigarettes got bills to pay.
No,
Those
you're
of us
right.
that smoke cigars, we are about the experience. And when you look at the experience, now that opens up a whole world because that whole word experience as it relates to cigars is subjective. It's what it means to you. What do you get from it? What do you want to portray? What image are you trying to put out there? And I think there's a certain level of class, and it used to be very aristocratic, where it was your old white men that were generals and presidents and all of this. And now it's it's back to the roots, the people that develop the cigars, that make the cigars, that roll the cigars, the women that are in the fields that are helping blend the cigars and they're tasting the cigars. We get all of that. You don't get all of that with cigarettes. You don't get, who gives a fuck that Philip Morris over in North Carolina has a big factory that's making cigarettes by the thousands every 10 minutes. But with a cigar, you look at what goes into producing this. How is it rolled? You know, what leaves were put together to create this blend? You know, how do you pair it with different spirits and coffee? Those are the things that are important in our genre, which is the cigar community. That's why I'm very passionate about it. Ray's about to, he looking off to the right, so he's probably about to say he about to get on the tangent. And I am, but I'm just really serious about this, man. I've been in the Marine Corps. I've done a lot of shit in my life, but this has probably been the first thing that I've done that I've loved.
So
Truly loved.
I'll bring it back around. You know, you asked me why I got in this business.
Mm-hmm.
This is why. You know, the pull was just so strong for me on the spiritual side, and then the ability to connect with people, and then the ability to unify people around that commonality is what brought me to. And listen, man, I'm still on a journey just like everybody else. You know, I mean, I'm in a different place. I'm into the dirt. I'm into like understanding like what makes a really good plant. You know, you can't have good cigars if you don't have good plants. And you know, when you hang around with some guys, in the industry, Nestor Plasencia is a good one. He's a farmer. He's not a cigar maker. He's a farmer.
Yeah.
You know, and he knows everything about the dirt. He knows everything about how to raise the best plants and make the best tobacco and age the best tobacco. You know, he's only recently a cigar maker, you know, and when I talk to that guy, man, I just it gets so deep for me. You know, when you're really connecting with the earth, that's where it starts. This is the end. This is the end of the line. You know, you're gonna light this, you're gonna smoke, and it's gonna be gone.
Right.
You know, to the line. You know, you got to go all the way back to the beginning and see where that thing started and see how it became what it is.
Yeah.
Everything that happened along the way, and that's pretty heavy. You know, I mean, it really is. And that's why cigarettes don't connect you to anything. There's no connection there.
Just bills and struggles. Bills and struggles, buddy. I think cigarettes. I think bills and struggles. Bills and struggles. That's all I think.
Hey,
same thing as marijuana. Same thing.
Yeah.
Good old blunt. Bills and struggles.
I got the chance over the NOLA Cigar Fest week. At the meet and greet, I met a guy, Randy Rivera, who's a master sommelier, master tobacconist, travels all over the place. And we sat and we talked over cigars. I mean, I had no idea who he was when I met him, but we were talking, and I got to know who he was and learn how deep he is in the industry, right? And he handed me a Cohiba Double Reserve that was rolled in 1998, and he handed it to me and said, "I think you'll enjoy that, but before you light it, let me tell you about it." So then he told me the history of that cigar, which made it so much more enjoyable. And that's things that when you know from the dirt to the stick you holding in your hand, that it makes it so much more enjoyable when you know that. And you don't get that with anything else.
Yeah,
you can get it with good whiskey. You can get it with good whiskey, good bourbon. You know, they'll tell you all of these things, and when someone has the knowledge and time to do that, it's gonna feel so much better.
You know, the thing with whiskey and wine, it's similar. It's of the earth, right? It starts in the dirt. Starts with the plant. The plant grows the grapes, goes through this whole process. Same thing with this. Starts with the wheat, the corn, the barley, the earth. That's why they all go so well. Coffee grows from the earth. It's a bean. It grows on a plant, on a tree. You know, it's harvested by hand. It's dried by hand. You know, I mean, you think about those things. That's why they all connect so well. You know, again, we think about our palates. We think about our mouth. We think about how things taste. We don't think about where it came from.
Right.
Think about the journey that went on to become what it is. And then put them all together, man. That's really powerful.
It's an amazing experience. It's powerful.
It is. It's very.
Nobody wants to know the struggle of the Salem 100. Nobody wants to know the history of the Salem 100. I'm just saying.
Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to know the journey of a cool filter king. Nobody cares.
I think about my grandmother, you know, with her wig all twisted and burnt, you know. You know, one in the ashtray, one in her hand. She's like, I don't know if I can ever give these things up. You know, she's
all you really wanted her to do was let the windows down in the car while you were riding.
I'm laughing so hard because I got a personal experience with that, man. Man, that's anyway. We're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with the vibe.
Awesome.
For the cigar connoisseur who demands excellence, welcome to ChevalierLife.com. Elevate your collection with premium, high-end personalized humidors, crafted for those who appreciate true luxury. Explore a world of elite cigar accessories, cutters, lighters, and cases. Designed for style and precision, and complete your look with premium cigar-inspired apparel. Because every aficionado deserves to dress the part. Luxury, craftsmanship, legacy, ChevalierLife.com, where sophistication meets the smoke. Shop now. Live the lifestyle. The Chevalier lifestyle.
Damn, I love that commercial too. Ray makes better commercials for my shit than I make.
Yeah, nice, I do.
Nice humidor.
Thank you. I love to make one for you.
I want you to. We're gonna have to do a trade for cigars and whiskey for humidor.
Consider it done. Jeff, yours is I got something special coming up for yours, man. I was able to move something for you on that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. I appreciate that.
You queued up for the vibe?
I'm always queued up for the vibe. Let's go.
Graphic time.
All right, this is the vibe. This is that time during the lounge where we kick back, we relight our cigars, we re-pour our drinks, and get ready for the next segment of the lounge. Today's track is very special to me. This one is called Cigar Lounge. It's by Big Mike Hart, featuring Boney James on the sax. And guess what? This one was released New Year's Day of 2024 on Conversations with Chevalier. Sit back, relax as we kick it with our guests, Jeff and Steve from Moulin Labe. We're having conversations on the lounge. And don't let me forget, I'm wearing one of my hoodies. I love cigars, whiskey, jazz, and maybe 10 people. You can get that on ChevalierLife.com. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the vibe, y'all.
Before we enjoy the vibe, I need to correct Chevalier once more. It's Moulin Labe, not Moulin.
Man, look, you know what?
We know you can't read.
Charge it to my head. Charge it to my head, not my heart. That's what the Christians say.
Well, you can't read, so it's okay.
I ain't read nothing.
You should have seen when it had the Greek letters on the nobody could read it.
Hey, Mount Olympus Cigars uses the Greek letters to name the cigars.
I don't even know how to ask it for a cigar. Give me the one with the girl on it.
He's got Zeus, Aphrodite, Athena, and they're all the Greek spelling. And you can't read them.
Aphrodite is spelled with 4 letters. I mean, I don't. But I love those damn cigars. They're amazing. So this track, man, Cigar Lounge, was an ode to just that. You know, when Big Mike came out with this, he wanted to do something, create a vibe, you know, that we can listen to in the lounge while we're smoking our cigars. He plays bass guitar for Boney James, so it was a natural thing for him to bring Boney on the track, and Boney kills it. You know, he kills it. That's why I love cigars, whiskey, jazz, and maybe 10 people. Y'all are 4 of the 10 people, I'll say that. Drunk Chicken does have a couple. Thank you, Desiree. She's one of the biggest supporters of Chevalier Life when we started out. Thank you so much.
You should have seen too. Yeah, you should have seen when Chevalier had him on the show. He was about to cry because he was one person removed from Boney James.
Oh yeah, and then I got to meet him. Then I got to meet him when they came to town a couple months ago, and it was a whole lot of fun.
I know you was like a little fat.
No, but check it out. Just recently, they sent me pictures with these hoodies on. So, you know, I ain't even posted them yet because I was going to stunt one day. I was waiting on somebody to talk shit. I was like, well, Boney James rocking my hoodie, but I ain't going to talk to Lord.
I'm surprised you didn't post it.
No, I didn't post it yet.
I figured you would have tried to Photoshop yourself in the picture.
I started to, but I had a picture with him, so I didn't have to. It's coming, man. You know, hoodie season is over, so you know.
It don't matter. You can always buy them.
Yeah, well, you can get it in a t-shirt. You know, all of my shirts are available in hoodies and t-shirts. But we ain't advertising. This is the vibe, man, where we kick back and relax. See, this is the kind of stuff when me and Ray are sitting out here on the patio, we be listening to. Because when he at home, he listening to some hardcore something. You know,
I do not.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I was about to tell a lie. That's not true. He grooves pretty good.
I got a good jazz story to tell you guys.
Tell us.
So we have a lot. We're really opening up the Atlanta market, and I went down there with Naomi McCormick, my rep in Atlanta, who's just doing.
She's a sharp lady.
She's just doing a great job there.
Yeah.
And we opened this small cigar lounge in Atlanta. So I was down there and I went in to visit with them, and we were smoking cigars. And they said, "Oh, we're closing the lounge early." And I said, "Well, it's like 11 o'clock." They go, "Yeah, we go to this jazz club on Monday nights in Atlanta, and it's a jam session, and all these like Grammy award-winning musicians like show up." And they're like, "You want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to go. Let's go." And they go, "You can smoke cigars in there." And I'm like, "Even better." So I grabbed a box of cigars, and I went with these guys to this improv jazz club. And there was 4 Grammy award-winning, like 2 drummers, a guitar player, and a saxophone player. And people just got up and jumped into the band. And it was freaking amazing. I'm trying to think of the name of the place. I can't remember. It's been there for a while. But they have this jam session on Monday nights. So if you're ever in Atlanta, look it up. It was incredible.
Bro, I'm about to research that, find that, and get me a ticket to Atlanta. I gotta be there.
I'll ask Naomi right now. I'm gonna ask Naomi right now.
So on Instagram, I'm winning it. I'm winning. I'm winning something. Winning at it or something. That's her name on Instagram, right? I think.
Yeah.
Well, we know you can't read, so that might not be what her name is.
It
might be somewhere close, but we know you can't read.
I know there's winning in it. I know that. I follow her though.
You know what I just thought about?
Yeah, I'm winning at it.
I'm winning at it. See,
I'm winning at it.
If you're gonna be here on the 3rd, I'm doing a Kentucky Derby event at Lone Star.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be at my lounge for Kentucky Derby Day, and then I'm flying out the next day to be to Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that on the 3rd. Yeah.
I'm coming to your lounge. So for 3 days, I'm coming to your lounge. We're all going to meet there.
Cool.
We all going to meet up at your lounge, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay, bet. That's cool.
100%.
That's cool.
I'm going to try to get a trim up on the beard, too, while I'm in there, bro.
You way
I'm way over.
I want Jeff. I want you to line my beard up too, so I can smoke cigars in the chair and take pictures.
Okay.
Hey, I did it.
Hey, look,
I did it. Y'all remember I made a video. I made my haircut experience and smoking cigars over there.
The only thing about it though, Ray, man, I don't shape up fake beards.
Well, you gonna have. Well, you can shape mine up because it ain't fake, sir. Y'all just don't hate on the black.
Hey, Jeff, Jeff, you gonna have black all on your clippers,
all over clippers and stuff.
It seemed like it's some hate. It's some hate coming from over there in that side, down at that side of the screen. I
wish I could grow a beard like that.
I cut mine off. I got tired of it.
That's a killer.
Yeah, no, it ain't no fake in this. Ain't no fake in this.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
I got to put it out there because Damon will come in here and say it, and then I might have to play that video of him dancing.
Since when do you care about what Damon say?
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
because I like to play that video when he start talking.
You don't even have to talk; just run the video.
As a matter of fact, run
that video, Ray.
Presenting Damon.
Beautiful.
Somebody is messaging Damon right now talking about they on your ass on the lounge right now. Hey, did y'all notice
pop up later?
What's the red dot on his crotch, though? I always ask the question. Somebody tell me. I don't know. What is that supposed to be?
I have no idea. I have no
What's
idea why
going
he
on,
brought that
Candace
out.
Ford? Welcome to the lounge. We do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. when we have authentic conversations over cigars.
Max say Damon stamping out the cigar with that right kick.
Right now. That's exactly what he's doing.
They
If he
doing
was,
what? He about to fall backwards to get to it.
yeah, Damon is the guy that puts on Charlotte Cigar Week. For anybody that doesn't know who we're talking about, we talk about Charlotte Cigar Week, and amazing brother that's been doing some things, and so you know we just gotta Ray. Why don't you run about 5 more seconds of that video, man? I just needed to hear it.
You just want to see that kick.
I just want to see the kick. I just want to see the kick one more time, man. So, hey, back to our conversation, man. And we've been talking about some great things about, cigar community versus culture. So I'm gonna put the question out there. Steve, got you and Jeff in here with us. When you think about cigar community versus cigar culture, what do those two terms mean to you?
I like that question. Cigar community and cigar culture. The culture is what it is. It's cigars. Cigars. Everybody that smokes cigars is a part of the culture. The community is it's a little bit different. The community is like the cliques. Is everything is separated, which it shouldn't be. The community shouldn't be separated. It should be all one. We should be all a part of the community as we are all a part of the culture. But we're not all a part of each other's community because, again, there are people that don't like certain people. There are people that like other people too much or not enough. But the community is not as well off as the culture is. The community is in some areas, the community is in a bad state. As I've said before, I've been to other places, other cigar lounges, and you blend right in if you're a part of both the community and the culture. But some people just can't blend in. Well, everybody should blend in, but a lot of people won't blend into the community. They just want to be a part of the culture.
Right.
Yeah, I have to agree with the caller that just chimed in on made a comment. The culture is the umbrella, and the community is under that umbrella. And even though we have the culture in common, we don't always have the community
in common. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
I think, again, I know we're getting philosophical and deep here. Thanks a lot for keeping me on my toes. Maybe I should have started drinking earlier. I don't know.
Yeah, you better have a drink before you come on the lab. We will catch you slipping.
But I think it's easy to get focused on the community and lose sight of the culture. And that's what's happening in a lot of places with a lot of people, is they lose sight of the culture and the thing that binds everybody together, So hopefully at some point something causes them to get refocused. And you talk about the money situation, right? And the business aspect of the thing. Everybody wants the money or whatever. You learn real quick that your community, you better have a big community, and you better have a rich community, and you better have a strong community, or you're going to have a poor business.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's real talk.
And the businesses that thrive are the inclusive businesses, the welcoming businesses, because they're going to, people, up here where I live, I would say it's a very inclusive community. I don't think that's a problem. What I see up here is people get a little jealous if you walk into a different lounge and one of your customers is there. But like I'm friends with all the cigar lounge owners up here because they're my customers too. So they're my customers, but we're also competitors. But you know what? I got guys that work at one lounge that are in my lounge smoking cigars. Like I'm hanging out. I hang out. I own my own lounge. I hang out at different lounges too. And people are always surprised when I come in. They're like, "Whoa, what are you doing here?" Like, I love this place. These are my people. I'm here to just hang out and have a cigar and meet some new people and get a different perspective and place to have a cigar. And the other thing I go back to is education. If people are just ignorant about this, they're not going to have that sense of community. The only thing they're going to have is the sense of community. They're not going to have the culture that goes along with the cigar. If you have the culture, it's pretty hard to just have the community.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so by the way, Naomi just got back to me. The name of that jazz club is called 10 ATL.
10 ATL.
I got to tell you guys, this place Monday night. She says she's going Monday night with our customers. That was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. And I grew up in Boston. We had a place that was a jazz club, and I used to go there at least 2 or 3 times a week. And I've seen I love jazz. I've seen all kinds of musicians there. This was one of the best experiences I ever had. And it was so impromptu. The guys are just like, "Hey, we're shutting the bar down. We're shutting the lounge down. We're leaving. You want to go?" Like, yeah, I just met those guys like 2 hours ago. Stayed out till 3:00 in the morning. I had the greatest time. The music was incredible, like absolutely incredible. So if you guys get to Atlanta,
I can imagine.
Go to 10 ATL and you can
Let's go, Ray.
You can smoke cigars there.
Yeah.
You had me at jazz, but cigars too?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And a jam session? Oh yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah. Man, I'll go nuts in there, dude. They have to pry me out of there.
Chevalier had to change. He would have to change his pants 3 times.
Probably, maybe 4. I'd have to take 5 changes, and I'm gonna probably have to change them 4 times at least.
I mean, apparently this jam session is so well known. Like all these Grammy award-winning guys fly in just to jump in on Monday nights.
Wow.
Like it was all different people. Like it was incredible, man. I'm really looking forward to going back there and have it. So where do you guys go for jazz in Dallas?
Balcony Club.
The Balcony Club is probably one of the best places in Dallas to go for jazz. It's the balcony of an old theater in Lakewood. And man, you get some of the coldest local artists, but there'll be people coming from all other places. I don't know, Jeff, if you've been to this other place. There's a place over in the warehouse district called Triumph.
Oh yeah, I've
Triumph,
been
Dallas. Yeah. I saw a guy of Cuban descent over there by the name of Carlos Averhoff. I played one of his songs recently, last Thursday, I believe, on the Cigar Track of the Day. And man, let me tell you something. This guy blew my mind with the Latin jazz that he was coming with. No vocals, just jazz. And I mean, it was like he touched every genre. He would take a song and some kind of way through jazz, he would hit the rock genre. He would hit the R&B. He would hit a little bit of country, but he blended it all together, man. Amazing place. You can smoke there on the patio. They keep a humidor of cigars, but you can only smoke on the patio. But the way the place is set up, it's all glass. So even if you're on the patio, you can see and hear and enjoy the music. And, another great place to enjoy cigars. Ray, I want because I never really ask you, but what's your thoughts on cigar community versus culture? I don't think you and I have never really said, much as you're here and I'm with you, we never really said it. What's your thoughts on that?
I gotta mirror what's already been said here. The culture is the big umbrella that holds the community and the industry. and the novice and the people who smoke cigars once a month with friends. Um, I just I think that when we talk about cigar community, right, we're talking about the few people that we know in our circles that smoke cigars. Like our little communities.
Mhm.
And when we talk about culture, it's as Steve was saying, from the soil all the way to what we have. It's the story of the cigar all the way through. It's the way that you have to smoke a cigar, meaning you have to slow down. You can't cut it and light it fast. You have to slow down, and you have to think at least a little about what that cigar has been through. You get a chance to just be you're really equal with everybody when you're
Yeah.
smoking a cigar. Like I said earlier, I talked to Randy, and he was, I didn't know who he was, but we were talking, and the cigar that he gave me a cigar, uh, told me the story of the cigar, and then once I cut it and I lit it, and from the very first lighting, it was delicious, and then he said, "Well, that's a $300 cigar. People give them to me all the time," and I'm like, "Well, uh, now I kind of wish I didn't just light it. I kind of want to look at it a little bit more, But that's what they're made for. They're made to enjoy. They're not made to sit and look at. They're made to enjoy. You can collect them, you can have them, you can hold on to them for a while, but they're made to enjoy. Just like wine community versus wine culture.
Right.
The wine community is people who drink wine. Wine culture is from the soil to the bottle to the glass, right? So,
Right.
and when you drink wine, a lot of times people look at it and like, oh, what you swirl, like you swirling and tasting all of these and sniffing the bouquet and all of it, because they understand what it took to
Right.
make that.
Hmm.
They
Right.
understand the journey that those grapes have gone through. Same thing with whiskey. People who enjoy whiskey, not people who drink whiskey to get drunk, but people who enjoy whiskey. They like to know, they like to understand the journey all the way to the glass. And that's why a lot of people drink whiskey neat, because they respect the whiskey, because they respect the journey. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And if you put ice in your whiskey, that's perfectly fine. Do what you want to do. But just like if you light your cigar with a butane torch or a gas torch or a
A piece
match
of bamboo.
or a, a piece of cedar or even a big lighter, or if you light it at the grill, however you light your cigar, enjoy do what you do. But when you are enjoying these things, um, you enjoy Mac the cigar advocate
I
say
saw that.
cardboard box was a good year. That's
For
that's
me,
more that's more culture than community.
community.
But
For me, it can. Oh, go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry.
yeah, but I mean it's the same thing with anything where you enjoy something, right? Like cars. There's car community versus car culture, because you understand cars. You understand what goes into a car, how they work, what makes them go. You understand, some people understand the stories behind cars and why this car was produced, where this car was produced.
Right. Right.
And there's only 3 of them in the world, and all people understand all of these things, and it's only because of the culture of the thing, right? So when you care enough and you understand that thing, that's culture versus the community. Community is the people that make up the cigar culture,
Yeah. That's
just
kind of
like
where.
a neighborhood and a city.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I've been going with it. I always like I listen to everything that you guys are saying, and I put this question out a lot because I'm always interested to see what people are with that. And for me, it's everything that y'all said and this. the cultures or the individual communities, when they come together, they make up the culture as a whole, right? And the different things when you look at from the standpoint of growth, and that's always my thing about growing the cigar, you know, community or culture as a whole. I always think about all of these different communities that come together, and they're like all of their different nuances are blended, just like a fine wine. They come together as a culture, man, for us to grow, for us to as communities to do the things that are necessary, right? To do the necessary things that it takes to work together in our own specific genres, our own specific communities that come together to grow the culture as a whole. The communities, we make up the foundation of the culture. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And so for me, and Ray, I'm real passionate. We've had many conversations, Jeff, you and I as well.
Yeah.
When I see things that are happening within the communities that don't seem to align to move the culture forward, then we have to start taking steps back to look to see how do we repair that? How do we share and communicate amongst each community to get us moving in the same direction to grow the culture? And I'm always thinking about there are movements, man, in government. There are movements out here that don't want to see this culture thrive and grow and continue to build. And if we in our communities don't come together, sort of like what you said, Jeff, when we talk about cliques, all of those are small communities, right? If
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
come together and sometimes find ways to put aside subtle differences so we can come together effectively, then we put a stain on how the culture is viewed internationally. And
Exactly.
and and that's what's important to me. Everything that I do, I've had some people lately hit me in the inbox and say, "Well, you do these thoughts of a classic man, and what does that have to do with the cigar culture as a whole?" And I respond to those. I respond to those. Some of the other shit I don't respond to, but I respond to those. What I always say is, I myself, Chevalier, I'm a part of the culture and I'm my own community. The Chevalier lifestyle, we smoke, sip, sing, and savor, right? So in my community, we enjoy the cigar, we enjoy the things that accompany it with music and food and spirits. We bring that all together and we try to promote a positive frame of mind as we work into the culture. Everybody doesn't have to sit down and talk about how things are blended. Everybody doesn't have to sit down and do all the same things. But what we have to do is create a positive mindset about the culture that we want to present to the world. And I think it gets lost upon some of us, particularly, I'm going to say because I live in Dallas, in the Dallas market. It gets lost on some of us, man. And we got to find ways to reach those that are losing that so we can keep this community growing and thriving. Because in the back of my mind, I never forget there is a large movement that wants to stifle the growth of the cigar culture as a whole. And people, they don't realize how much goes in. That's why we have organizations like the CRA. We have PCA doing. PCA is not a big fucking party, as a lot of people, think. It's a
No.
trade
No.
show in a sense, but PCA and CRA work together, man, tirelessly to do things, man, to promote and solidify the cigar culture. I remember uh, um, a couple years ago, I interviewed some guys on the last draw with Melanie Cisco. We had Glenn Loop and we had Scott Pierce on there, right? And I'm the newbie, so I'm asking questions, man. And quickly, I came to understand how important these organizations working together are to keep our culture going. They're meeting with groups like the Black Caucus in D.C. and they're doing events once a year with them that we never even really hear about. But these are events to get. They create these different events in the D.C. area for the politicians to understand that the cigar community is not just about smoking cigars and sitting around and shaking our ass. It's about, you know, It's about history. It's about tradition. It's about work. It's about all of these different ethnic groups and communities that have come together in the history of the cigar community or culture to work together to build this thing up to where it is. And so everything that I do is to try to remind people of that. Don't get so caught up in all of the fluff and the bullshit that goes on out here in the
Mm-hmm.
street. To remember, if we want to continue to enjoy this and enjoy the fluff, we got to be willing to come together and put the work in. So that's
Well,
where I am
well,
when it goes to multi community.
let me say this, man. When somebody asks you, how does the thoughts of a classic man or anything, the cigar track of the day, or just posting a random pic, like if somebody asks you, how does that move the or promote the or move the culture forward as a whole, then my my response to that would be, how does you have, where do you live? Do you have a house? Do you have an apartment? I got a house. Do you keep the inside of your house clean? Well, yeah. How does that move the neighborhood forward? Right. It doesn't matter because, well, it does matter because it shows, like you said, that when you're a part of the cigar community and you have these thoughts, right? And you put these sometimes profound thoughts out, and other people have the same thought. People who may or may not be a part of the cigar community. It shows we're the same. We're the same. There's nothing different. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Kind of like what does social media do for a celebrity? It shows that they're human. You see, like, because a lot of celebrities get on social media and they basically open their lives up. They do reality TV. How does that move entertainment forward?
Right.
Because you see more. It opens it up. It makes people human. Now, reality TV has gotten scripted, but in the beginning, they just following people through their boring lives, and there's nothing special about it. So, I mean, you got to spice it up for TV,
Right.
which is what they wind up doing. But this, when you, like you said, there are movements that are trying to, one, keep us in with cigarettes. They're trying to show a negative side of the cigar community. And by you asking me, how does this move the cigar community forward? You're playing right into their hands. You know what I'm saying? You're playing right into their hands. So if I have a cigar event and there's a dress code, it shows, hey, this is the cigar community. The black and gold ball, it showed the cigar community in all of its glory, if you ask me. There was music, people were dancing, people were enjoying cigars, nobody got shot, nobody had a fight, there wasn't any arguments. People put on any cigar event, 90% of cigar events, people are going to dress decently. Pants are going to be on waist.
Say it again for those that didn't hear that. The
pants are going to be on waist.
With a belt on it.
With a belt on.
And people are going to be, for the most part, in a state of calm. They're going to be calm because you can't really be angry smoking a cigar. Now, the conversations can get a little bit heated because people have different views, especially when you touch topics of like politics. Mm-hmm. People can get heated. Sports. People can get heated over all of that. I have yet to see a fight break out in a cigar lounge. I'm sure it has happened, but I have yet to see one.
Yeah, we've had a shoot. We've had a shoot and a fight at CI.
Well,
let's touch that though. That's not truly the cigar community. That's a nightclub that sells cigars.
That's what I was about to say.
Right. It's the CI in the colony, because I don't have any cool. The CI in the Colony is a nightclub that sells cigars. If you want to, it's not about going to get a great cigar. How much line dancing you can do, how many women can you pull? You know, that's what that's become. We
how
used
many
to go
drinks
to
you can
that.
get a man to
How many
buy?
drinks you get it? Yep. We used to go to the CI in the Colony, and I remember when it first opened. I went there every Wednesday when I had to pick my daughter up from volleyball, and I would sit there for 2.5 hours before I went over on the other side of town and picked her up. You're going to sit with people from all nationalities, all genres, doing all things, and the conversations were there. Now, a lot of the people that enjoy cigars, that believe in this lifestyle, they don't do that anymore because they don't want to sit back. I ain't got nothing against partying and line dancing and all that shit, but I don't believe that the cigar lounge is the place that you do that.
Nope.
I believe that the cigar lounge is the place that we respect the sanctity of communication, connection, and experience. And I feel like it gets lost upon some of those places. The places that do that and they're profitable, hey, cool. But just like every nightclub in America, nightclubs have a run and they end. And the reason being, because people are looking for the next best thing or what they deem to be the next best thing. But in
Yep.
the cigar community, if you got great cigars and you got a great vibe, whether it's rap music or jazz or whatever, if you got a certain vibe where people can connect, it never goes out of style. Never goes out of style. See, I don't I go there when I know somebody they're having a birthday and they want to go up there. I've been once in the last 2 years. Not my thing. But the one in Fort Worth, I go out there and sit all day. I mean, El Jefe, perfect example. This guy, Tony,
We know it ain't gonna be no mess in El
you
Jefe
No,
can't play.
or
You
no,
can't play no
or
domino. You
or a
can't do
stoop.
that in a stoop. You
no,
can't go
sir.
into the
I
stoop
just we
and
all
bring your
know it ain't
box
gonna
of
be no
cigars
problems
and
over
some
there.
dominoes and your own liquor in a box and sit in a stoop. You can't do that. You either go do two things. You go buy a cigar or you go get a haircut. It's gonna be one of the two. You're not
Yeah.
gonna walk in there with a thing of dominoes, and you're not gonna walk in there. Now Jeff will have a DJ. Jeff's had all kind of events there, and
We gonna
I've
have
been
we
to
gonna
that both.
and I let you play dominoes, but it ain't gonna be no loud, all that
Exactly.
cussing and all that stuff. We don't. Cigars are for relaxation. You say how many? We gonna jump on that. We gonna jump on that and stay on that part of it. Cigars is for relaxation.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know, again, you don't. Nobody argues over a cigar. They don't argue. I've never heard an argument about what cigar is better. I've never heard an argument about nothing over a cigar. That's just not what we do. That's not what we do. I mean, we don't. Yeah, I don't do that. I
Well,
don't do that.
you
I don't
you
know how
can
to
you
do it.
can try to argue while you're smoking a cigar, but could you imagine arguing over sports? Yeah, but you see, but then
Yep.
And but you know what? Even that,
and like I was saying,
that's connection. That's connection. That's an experience. There are lounges out there, and I don't shit on any lounge that has because we have lounges right here. They do karaoke. That's the experience. That's fine with me. I don't have any problems with any of that. What I do have a problem with is when the things that go on in the lounge step outside of the basic etiquette of the cigar culture. There's certain things that I understand. Certain things that I understand. I walk in the lounge, I buy cigars. I buy cigars. I don't take my own cigars. I buy
Yeah.
cigars.
That's
If I take my
disrespectful.
own cigar, that's disrespectful. And I think for me, because I don't want to put this narrative out that Chevalier doesn't like lounges that party. I love lounges that party. But I love lounges that party where etiquette is respected. And what happens with a lot of the lounges that allow things like that, the etiquette goes out the door because like somebody told me one time, if you allow this, eventually you allow this and you allow that. It's a lot less work to set the standard. Like my old boss used to say, inspect what you expect. Set the expectation and then go from there and never vary. And there are people that understand that concept, and that's for them. They're not going to walk into. They know when they walk into your lounge that, hey, I'm gonna buy 2 cigars. They got a 2 cigar minimum, no problem, because I smoke cigars. And if I buy 2 cigars and I only smoke cigars every now and then, shit, I'll just give the cigars away. Ray, you know me. I walk in the El Jefe, I buy 10 cigars. I'll go in the blow and smoke. I buy 10 cigars. I'll go here and I'll pick up 2 or 3 cigars. But then a lot of times I don't smoke them like a chain smoker here. So when I have guests, which I do often, I'm giving cigars away. If it's a new brand, I'll take the ones that I want to smoke and I give the rest away. We have to, and I'm gonna go deeper with it. I know
I
we
know
get a little
I know
late.
one thing. When I go to Chevalier house, I don't even open my cigars first. I go straight to his humidor first.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have cigars. I always got plenty of cigars because when I
What you
walk
got
in,
I ain't never had? Give me that.
yeah, he always say that because I always got some juicy shit in one of them humidors. But I always go and buy cigars and I take them and put them in my box. Steve, you had cigars the last time we were all at El Jefe. I bought a bunch of your cigars. I only smoked like 2 of them. I gave them away to my neighbors. I
Thank
gave them away to people that came to visit me because the only way these brands grow is if we support them. Jeff, I bought a bunch of echelons from you at the Detroit event that we did during
Yeah,
Dallas Cigar Week when I was there.
yeah.
I smoked one. I gave away echelons to everybody that I knew that I was around that smoked cigars. Hey man, if you want to get one of these, you gotta go check out my boy over there, this gentleman, man. Like this is his brand. So check him out. Whether they do it or not, it doesn't matter to me. But for me, those are the ways that we move this culture forward. See, like Steve said, when you start a brand, you gotta expect that you're gonna give away about 30,000 cigars. To me, it's par for the course because I believe in the culture. I want to see the culture grow. So if somebody gets a good cigar from me and they're like, "Oh shit, I want to smoke these." Maybe it might not be that cigar that they buy, but because they got a positive experience through me to get a free cigar that was great, I can answer their questions about cigar. Guess what? We just moved the culture forward. It might have been a millimeter, but hey, a millimeter turns into an inch turns into a foot turns into a fucking mile. And so the only way we continue to grow things is to move that way within our genre.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I do something. I know Dave Blanco does this, and he's my friend, but I can tell you that it's something that doesn't occur very frequently. I'll put it that way. I have my own brand. I have my own cigars. You look through my social media, my web pages. I'm smoking different cigars from everybody. I'm showcasing and highlighting cigars from everybody. I'm talking and taking pictures with other cigar manufacturers and blenders. I'm doing everything I can to showcase the industry and the culture, and that's what it should be about too. It's not just about my brand, me. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's a competitive brand. We're all super competitive. My cigar is better than your cigar, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, you ask anybody, everybody smokes a lot of different cigars, even the guys that are only seen taking pictures with their cigars. I choose to put it out there. Like if I find a cigar I like, I post about it. I'm like, I just smoked this cigar. It's fantastic. I just went to this lounge. It's incredible. I love being here. I'm taking a picture with the owner. I love being in this lounge. And to your point, I go into those lounges, even if they have my cigar. Do you think I go into a lounge and buy my cigar in that lounge? No, I can smoke that cigar every single day if I want.
Right.
I go in
Right.
and say, what do you have that I haven't smoked? And then if I like it, I'm like, hey, I just smoked the cigar in this lounge and it was incredible, So, we all have to do our part. We all have to do what we can to support each other and hold each other up. And that's a big part of the culture. And I think, again, where we fall down is, I don't like that cigar. I don't like that person, or I don't, whatever. We can't do that. We just can't do
Right.
that. That's not what we're
Right.
about. That's not what we're about. It's okay if you don't like a cigar. It's okay. You know, people come up to me. I have people that come up to me and say, I don't like your cigar. I say, great, I'm sorry. I have like 12 others if you want to try some other ones. You know, if you don't like that one, there's, 12 other cigars you can try. Or if you don't like my cigar, hey, I just tried this cigar. It's fantastic. You should try it. Buy another guy. Try his cigar. And I think the more we do that and the more people see us doing those sort of things, that's going to help those people that aren't doing it,
Right.
that supporting, and sometimes, listen, haters going to hate, they're going to hate you. No matter what you do. You can love the world with the most genuine heart and people are going to still not like you. And that's okay too. It's okay. Not everybody doesn't have to love us. You got to respect us, but you don't have to love us. And that's okay. And again, that's a beautiful thing in this culture too. There's so much to choose from and so much to do that there's something for everybody. I mean, there really is.
Right about that.
I was thinking, you guys really made me think, and I was thinking about some things that at my lounge that have been happening that I really like, and that's I see these, and Jeff, you could probably relate to this. I get these people, I call them stragglers. They don't have any friends. They don't really have any hobbies. They're just kind of wandering around and they wander into your lounge.
Mm-hmm.
And I always put my arm around those people and I say, you're home now. You're in a good place right here. And I'm going to introduce you to some really good people. And I take them around and I let people know, hey, this guy just came in. He's a new guy. He doesn't know it. Because you know what? That's what happened to me. I came through the door. I didn't know people. These are a bunch of old guys, that put their arms around me and said, come on, man, come sit with us,
Yeah.
Come hang out with us. And, we're going to teach you about that. So I've been noticing lately that that's been happening quite a bit. I've been getting these kind of stragglers kind of coming in. And the next thing I know is, they came in that one night, then they come back again, then they come back again, then they get connected to a group, then the group gets a little bit bigger. All of a sudden, he's part of that group. And, these people find their people. And,
right.
And I love that.
That's what Jeff did for me, Steve. When
Right.
the first lounge that I ever went into in Dallas was a lounge that's not open anymore. Hell, I can't even remember the name of it. It was down there in the square for American Airlines Center. The second lounge that I ever went into was Jeff's Lounge, and a lady invited me to come out, and she started introducing me to people. And Jeff was the first person that I met. And one of the things and I give flowers on this show. I give him his flowers. He be talking shit, but I give him flowers. But one of the things Jeff did was give me a whole lot of advice real fast about how to move in this community and to set myself apart. And I remember listening to him and going, okay. But then, like I said, about 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, maybe a month, I realized, hey, he on point. If I want to grow, and I wasn't, I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am now about the cigar community, but what I realized really fast based on what he said is if I want to grow, man, I got to be me and do my own damn thing. And people are going to like it and people aren't. But one of the things he said that was key, don't align yourself with nobody. Just do your own damn thing. Keep doing your own damn thing. And that's been the wisest thing I think anybody has told me in my entire cigar journey, man, was to do my own damn thing. Because that has
let me
created
ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
If you're doing your own thing and we are an accepting culture, it shouldn't matter if you're doing your own
It shouldn't matter at all.
That was his point exactly.
It doesn't matter. You do
And they smile at me, Steve, and then they'll smile at me and hug me and want to take pictures with me and won't post one.
Right.
Because they really don't like me, but they like the growth.
Yeah.
But
so how can we use this guy to get to where we want to go?
How blessed are you to have a guy like
bring you in.
How blessed are you to have a guy like Jeff to give you that advice early on? So you didn't have to figure it out the hard way.
Exactly, man. And again, I went through some stuff this year Well, I almost had to shut. I basically shut Chevalier Life down because I broke my leg. I couldn't move. The first person to come to my house and sit on my couch when I broke my leg was Jeff.
Hey Steve, let me tell you the story about how Chevalier broke his leg.
Broke his leg.
He was running for school board, a chair on the school board, right? He was running for a position on the school board, and he was picking up his signs after the election. And so he drove his red truck to where he was picking up the sign, and the radio was playing. And so some sexy red music came on, and he jumped on the hood of his truck and he started twerking, and then he slipped off and broke his leg.
Let this creep up into So wherever we go, no matter what we do, Ray tells that story. And people have walked up to me and said, "Man, is it true that you were twerking on the back of your truck when you slipped and fell?"
That's why
I told this one lady, I said, I wasn't twerking, but yeah, that's what happened. Which was not what happened, but it was close.
But that's his story, and he's sticking to it.
Yep. But from now on, that is the story. You were twerking on your truck, listening to Sexy Red, and you slipped off because you had on some hard bottom.
You know it. When he told me the story, it almost sounded like what you just said, Ray. Almost.
It was Cinco de Mayo, baby. It was Cinco de Mayo, man. It was early on a Sunday morning. I was getting it in, my bad.
Out there twerking to that Sexy Red. Yeah, we got you.
Max said it's hard to do the Damien leg shake.
Got to do the Damien leg shake.
Got to do the Damien leg shake. I was trying to do that Damien leg shake, that Charlotte Cigar Week strut.
And that's when he failed.
Yeah. Hey, I hit that leg 3 times. Bam, 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 bam. And I kicked it out. The next thing I know, I broke my tibia and fibula. Fuck you, Damon.
On the ground crying.
On the ground, not crying. Not crying. I'm not a crier. Well, that's not true.
Yeah,
Okay, moving along.
Anyway, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be back with Ashes and Glasses. So get y'all toast ready.
Everybody, and welcome to Conversations with Chevalier. Look, I've been away for a while, but I'm back now. You wait. Well, hey, I drink it two together, man. So I see how you do it. And we do that on Conversations with Chevalier. Get it though, because you're a mom and a husband and all of the things that I do.
My father was, he was for barbecue.
So I worked with him. I was his teacher.
I know in the lounge you always group and you all over the place. What's your favorite music?
And it was like, well, this is looking different. This is looking personal.
We're playing. Feel like, nah, for real. What about to tell you what's going on?
Again, this has been Conversations with Chevalier. Thank you guys for joining us.
And you've had some great guests on.
Yeah, I've had one or two. I've had a few. Yeah.
You've had some great guests on. Don't do that. You've had some great guests on. Yeah, hey, y'all put y'all toast in the comments. Do it early this time. So
Ray, that's a great commercial.
It is a great commercial. You're welcome. You're welcome. I put a lot of work into that one. Yes, well, it's time for Ashes and Glasses. This is Ashes and Glasses. This is the way that we like to end the show. Everybody on screen has to get a toast. If you have a toast, put it in the comments. We'll definitely bring it to the screen and read it out loud, and we'll all toast on your toast. The toast ain't got to be serious. The toast can be funny. The toast can be anything you want the toast to be, but everybody's going to give a toast on screen. So, that being said, we're going to start with our first timer, Mr. Steve Bartell.
Big Steve.
What?
That's Big Steve.
I want to raise a glass to you guys because you make me proud. I just want to say it. I love you guys like you're my brothers, and I I'm humbled to be your friends. I really am. I love seeing you. I love being part of your life and your journey. And now I have a new friend over here, Jeff, who I'm really looking forward to hanging out with, man, and getting Jeff to try my cigars. And I meant to ask you, by the way, Ray, not to deviate from my toast, but you got the perfect pairing going there. You got the Habano cigar with the Molon Labe maple whiskey.
Oh, it's amazing.
Match made in heaven.
Did you see me earlier when I
But listen, here's to cigar culture. It's what binds us all together.
Yes.
Cheers. Jeff, you up?
Well, I'm drinking water, sparkling water.
It don't matter.
Yeah. I'm gonna toast to all things cigars. All things cigars. I enjoy this. I love this. Let's keep the cigar culture growing in the cigar community. Let's make it stronger.
Cheers.
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 What happened to Mac? He was just in here. Oh man. Mac
Canada,
is our resident ashes and glasses champion. Did the
Yes.
terrorists hit him? Did the terrorists hit the internet?
And terrorists hit him. They shut the internet off on him.
Oh, there you go. Maybe. Oh, there we go. We thought the tariffs got you.
Yeah.
Mac, what's up?
How's it going, boys?
Man, waiting on you. Waiting
on you, man. Waiting on you. We already.
No, you're not next. You know, you're not next. You know, you ain't next. You got to go last.
Yeah, you always last, bro.
Chevalier, you up with your long toast.
No, it's not going to be a long one. Here's to brotherhood. Here's to the culture. And here's to great cigars and great spirits. May we all enjoy them together to come up with the ultimate experience. Cheers.
Cheers.
Never did a toast like that
Look
before.
Look at you being short and to the point. Look at you.
To
You
the
learning.
Hey, I'm
You
learning.
learning because I'll mute you in a minute. Anyway.
Yeah. Next week I'm gonna wear that ass out. I'm gonna do a whole paragraph.
My toast goes to building friendships over cigars, man. Just building friendships. Let's put it that way. My toast goes to building friendships, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I gave a serious toast today because Mac is gonna light us up. So
About to light us up.
Mac, it's on you.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to dedicate this with love to Chevalier. And I'm not saying you're old, brother, but if you were whiskey, you'd be expensive.
Cheers.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
That's a good one. I thought he was really gonna hit me, but he hit me hard, but he did it in a passive way. Thank you, Mac.
I told you it was with love.
Love you, bro.
Yeah, he just gave you a little jab there. Not
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But I love Mac, man. And again, this is what the lounge is all about. We created this as a space for men and women. And we have women on here from time to time. We created this as a space for us to all have conversations over cigars that are authentic. We don't talk blends. We'll talk it if you want to. But this is just a place where we can put our thoughts and our views out, share them, and have an experience like we're talking about. Everything boils down to the experience. So thank you guys for joining us and supporting us on the lounge. Mac's been here with us. Jeff, you've been here since day one. Steve, now you're a part of the lounge family, man. You're welcome to come back anytime. You don't have to just come back to be a guest. You're welcome anytime, man. Like if you on a Thursday night at 7 or 8 your time, if you ain't doing shit up there, you just trying to be warm in the garage, man, pour you an extra shot of that whiskey in there and jump on, man. And let's talk, man. This is what we do on the lounge.
So I have an exclusive. So during the show, I received a text message from Jen at Molon Labe Cigars. So we will be putting together a pairing experience on the lounge with Molon Labe Spirits and Molon Labe Cigars and Molon Labe Coffee. we're gonna the details will come at a later date, but we will be putting that together. So be looking out for that. Steve will definitely be back. Jen will be here. So we're gonna definitely have that going on. So be looking out for that. I told you the lounge is growing. We got a lot of things coming in.
Yeah, we do.
I'm looking forward to it. You guys
definitely,
are the best.
Man.
Keep doing you. You guys are doing great. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it. We appreciate that.
And Jeff, we'll see you next week. We'll
Yes,
see you.
sir.
We'll see you either Sunday or Monday, whatever you want to do.
All right. Yeah, Monday will be good.
Cool. All right.
Either day, Sunday or Monday will be good.
All right. I'm up for it.
Most definitely.
To thank your guests tonight, guys, Jeff and Steve. Very insightful. Lots of things to think about.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Matt.
Yes.
Cheers.
And here's to
let's do one last toast to everybody that supports the lounge in the comments too. You know, we've had a lot of people. We've had, Drunk Chicken dropped in. You know, she jumped in with us. We've had a lot of people that jump in, Sissy Smoking. You know, all of you guys that support us every week. Thank you so much for doing so. It means a lot to me and Ray, and we appreciate you. Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Most definitely. Mac was doing my job. I was gonna thank our guest, but he did it for me.
But
anyway, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for this, man. This was a great show. We appreciate y'all and all the insights that was tonight. Chevalier, you got anything else?
Look here, man. You guys.
This is Just In Case with an important news bulletin. New study shows nobody cares.
I knew it was coming. Make sure y'all check out Pensacola Cigar Weekend and follow Pensacola Cigar Weekend on their Instagram, and check out the Rose City Cigar and Soul Festival, July 10th through the 13th. I'm one of the ambassadors. We're gonna be doing that thing out there in Portland, so make sure you guys check it out. Mac, I'd love to see you there. I know that's not too far from you, probably only 12 hours, but hey, come on down, check out Rose City Cigar Festival, man. I'm gonna try to get them on here next week with us.
So that must mean you ain't going to Pensacola.
I don't know. I think I am. I did a humidor for them, and so I probably am. I'm not going to vend. I'm going to enjoy.
Okay.
You know me, man. I go to some of these events and I be vending, but when I'm vending, I can't enjoy it. And since Chevalier Life is doing okay, a lot of times I don't vend. I just go to enjoy. So I plan to go there just to enjoy the event.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Here's one for you to ponder. How do Amish people know when it's a romantic candle dinner as opposed to a regular candlelit dinner?
How?
That's the joke.
I know.
Regular candlelit dinner.
Things that keep me awake at night.
You can't beat back on this thing, man. You can't
beat him on these toasts, man. Oh, man.
We thank you all for joining us on the lounge, man. We look forward.
I'm messing with you.
Fuck you.
The last one got me by surprise. I was like,
he always does that, man. Like, I'll say something, he'll hit. He got the controls over there right now, but I'm gonna get him back.
I was like, is this for real? What's happening?
The next time, we had a news break.
Hey, Steve, the next time he come on Conversations with Chevalier, watch him tear up on there. He get real emotional.
Oh, you ain't gonna get me.
When you interview, shit, I know how to get you.
That's a challenge, so I'm with it. Let's do it.
Consider it done.
Real men can cry.
I keep telling you
that. I've cried a couple times in my life.
Yeah, I've seen him cry one time, and that shit was ugly, man.
When you see me cry?
I'll see you. No, I heard you cry. I ain't going there.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't going there. We'll leave that alone.
Anyway, that's for a whole nother show when we get back on the vulnerability stuff. So
sound like a goat in the field. Just
shut up. I didn't. Anyway, we appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate y'all for joining us.
Appreciate you.
We'll see y'all next week.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
take care.
Thank you so much.
Peace.